Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. This is Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is part of the Gauntlet community, which is a community online for tabletop RPG fans, friends, and aficionados. And we play primarily indie games or small book games, small press stuff, and OSR stuff. But this game is part of Star Wars Saturdays, which is the thing I've been doing for a year and a half now, where every month we select a different RPG, and the members of the Gauntlet all RSVP to show it. So it's often a shifting cast of characters and players, and we tell a story that's taking place within the Star Wars original trilogy of movies timeline. But we have each of them, it's like an anthology, kind of inspired by Robert Louis Asprin's, is it Lewis? Anyway, Asprin's Thieves World series, where it's often a lot of different angles and lenses on stories that are occurring when there's a framework of major events that are taking place. And we're currently in the Return of the Jedi timeline, so that movie's transpiring, where past when Jabba has been murdered by terrorists, or rightfully killed for being terrible, and we're leading up to the war near the on and around the Forest Moon on Endor, or Forest Moon of Endor. But we're not within that battle. We're currently playing Warbirds, which was originally created for a alt history Earth kind of 1940s setting for flying aces who also happen to be celebrities. I've taken that core mechanics along with the fame and the like, shaved off the extraneous and out of pilot, or out of Warbird, which is the name for the planes, which we are making starfighters, shaved that off, and because it was like 30 pages of extraneous stuffs, and slapped on, kind of bolted on the World of Dungeons core mechanic for all of that, and then put it in the Tapani Sector, which is like this expanded universe Star Wars thing with feudal houses and a little Game of Thronesy style where the Empire is threatening to come in but still being held at bay, and the Tapani Sector is technically independent, but there's also internecine squabbles that go on between the houses. And I thought that might be a neat setting for popular guild, which is the Warbird fighter pilots doing jobs between the houses, but also the looming threat of the Empire still giving us the color of Star Wars. And one of the things that I wanted to do at the top here was describe, I don't think I did, I know I did not do a good job of helping to set tone. So I have placed cats down on row 96 of the Pilots and Warbirds tab of our character keeper, but I wanted to go over it. So the concept is that you're celebrity flying aces in a feudal corner of the Star Wars galaxy during the Return of the Jedi timeline. The aim is to tell the story of three pilots in a ragtag squadron trying to make some credits, be famous and awesome, and have exciting adventures while struggling with mixed loyalties and the looming threat of the Empire. The tone is PG-13, generally light in a gilded way, and by gilded way of like, oh, this is light and airy in your celebrities, but you are shooting people out of space and they die. There's high-flying action mixed with gregarious celebrity culture. That's the tone. And then the subject matter is high death count, different beings and spaceships getting blown up, drug use, slavery. We're using the X card and lines and veils as our safety tools. And last session, we had a line. I want to make sure I kind of state it correctly, but basically no egregious wounding or dismemberment for humorous effect. We'll just take that out. Are there
actually, if we are, this is more like Slay Industries, then that's totally fine. I was in the wrong mindset for the game. So
no.
Like,
So talk to me a little bit about
blowing up people, celebrities blowing up people and being very violent, and that's totally okay. I just have to know what I'm in for.
Well, with what I've just described in the cats, are there any questions, concerns? Does it help? Does it make a little bit more sense now?
Yeah,
okay.
It does help.
Okay. My apologies for not having that at the outset, and I hope that it helps us to get on the same page, because that's important to me, and I don't want any confusion there. Are there any other lines that folks would like to draw, or veils? Lines being a thing we don't even have on screen. Veils are things that subjects that could be discussed or mentioned, but we don't see it. Like, it's just a thing that's offhandedly mentioned. Any lines or veils anyone wants to draw? If you're good with what we have, just give me a thumbs up or type OK in the Hangouts box. If you've got something, then let's take a break and let's take care of it.
As far as I'd like to make sure that we take violence towards children off the table.
Okay, no problem.
I would like to draw a line at sexual violence. Hello, that sounds weird. I think somebody's.
Yeah, I think Blaze. Yeah, I think it's Blaze. Yeah, it sounds like Sabine's audio is coming through yours, Blaze. Okay, so no violence towards children, no sexual violence. That sounds great to me. Question. There may be a character introduced who, at the way that I created them, was a kind of gender swap. So it was a female Imperial human who has a Twi'lek assistant, male assistant, but nothing's going to happen like on screen. Is that too close to the line towards sexual violence? Because effectively this is a very attractive slave kept for being attractive.
No, that's okay.
Okay. If it's not okay, that's fine with me. I realized it was kind of lazy gender swap for to create a striking Imperial character. So if we're good with it, I'll roll forward. If not, I'll rethink. And that's no problem. Sweet. All right. Any other lines or veils? Sweet. Let's do another tech check real quick, Blaze, if you could. Just try to unmute you, make sure we got it. Yeah, I can still hear me.
I'm unmuted now.
Yeah, and when I talk, I'm hearing I'm hearing me on your audio or on your mic.
Okay. Do you want me to check the settings on my fingers?
Yeah, if you don't mind, because I don't want people to not want to talk to you. It's discombobulating. Although it did give me an excuse to use the word discombobulation. It's one of my favorite, where it's like top 20. Now you're completely muted. Oh, well, no, I just heard me. Nope. Test. I can hear the chirping, like the beep chirping, and I can hear me. But it sounds like I'm underwater. That stinks, man.
It's very weird that I can hear it and not hear Blaze. Oh, and I can hear myself too, making whale noises. Oh, sorry. Oh, we are live now, so YouTube can hear me make whale noises. I'm not sure. But it's okay.
I thought we did our tech check and I thought we were good to go. I apologize for having started a YouTube video and having tech issues. I'm the worst.
It's fine. You didn't know?
I didn't, but it's still annoying. Let's see. So while Blaze is working on that stuff, let's go ahead and continue forward. Stephen, could you please remind us of your character? You are talking on mute, Stephen. We've done the triumvirate. We've done all the things now.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got a double mute, so I clicked the one and that was fine, but I clicked the other one as well. Sorry. I'm playing Valerian Hado. Call sign is Osprey. He's an Iktochi. Those are the guys with the big horns that come down. And he's very businesslike, no nonsense. He's very skilled, but is out to prove that. So he takes more chances than he normally would. And tries to keep everyone in line. Very focused towards the group.
I love it. He's kind of the group dad / mom, and he's terrible at this celebrity stuff. I'm so excited for that. That's awesome. Sabine, could you please tell us about your character?
Yeah, I'm playing Kelly Irene. Call sign is Arkle. And Kelly loves the circus, I guess. She's not totally about shooting people. She's just about flying her ship and making weird aerial ballet moves like that. She's also rather intuitive and sensitive. She's not the person who thinks too much. She just goes with her gut. Usually that leads her into the right direction when flying, at least.
Has so far. And you've got a couple of sisters, which I've updated pics on the NPCs and things. A little bit of information we worked out there, so pretty excited about that. And last but not least, let's see if Blaze is.
Does it work?
You sound really, really, really quiet, like we did when we first started.
Okay, how about now?
No change. I know. I'm so sorry.
It's these speakers in this computer.
That sucks.
Can you adjust the volume with the gear?
The gear.
Now you're completely muted.
I didn't touch anything. Okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, the gear. Voice.
Nothing, man. Poor Blaze. I can tell he's getting frustrated, man. Don't fret. Don't get upset. We could give you a minute or two. I'm usually like at 16 after. This is usually when I just click this start broadcast because of whatever reason. So we're okay. One of the cool things that the Warbirds Kickstarter brought out of was Kickstarter, where this thing's called mission cards, and while it's not directly at all applicable for the port that I've done, glad you like the pics. It's still neat because they're all like little cards, and so I got the PDF of the cards, and evidently they've printed physical cards for the Kickstarter, and you could just take that deck and draw out, and these were some of the missions your guild had for more long-term play. They're great inspirations for things that I can throw your way, and one of them in this like not really fantasy setting of Azure for Warbirds, there's one called Horror in the Murk, and it's got a picture of a dragon and biplanes, and that tickles me. I'm like, wow. Any luck, Blaze? No, still can't hear you. Poor guy.
Yeah, maybe you could just start your system again, Maybe that would help. Oh, and there was this list of names for call signs, stuff like that.
Which I've got in my Star Wars Saturdays folder for use for the rest of forever because it's the best. Let me link you guys to that. Unless Steven, who first shared it with us, has it handy. I'm still looking for it.
No, I don't have it handy.
Oh, that's no problem. Okay, well, evidently Google Drive has decided to load really, really slowly. X-Wing call signs. There we are. Let me share that with you, friends. Thanks for mentioning that, because that is super helpful. Oh, these names are just so great. Big Top. Oh, man. Well, rather than keep you guys around while Blaze is grabbing his other headset, I'm going to go get a drink. So let's just take a couple minutes. I'll type in that.
Okay.
Hey. Oh,
Can
man,
you-
you got
Hey.
the phone.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't really have a choice.
That sucks, dude. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
It's okay.
That's always been my drop back is, if my computer craps out or I'm in a, hotel where the Wi-Fi is crappy, I can always drop back to my phone on cellular. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate your dedication. I hate playing on phone. It's just not pleasant for me at all. So, trooper, man. Oh, wow, look at you. I could barely even tell now that you did the thing because you're not in portrait. That's smart. Smart move. Cool. Blaze, would you like to introduce us to your character?
I'll be playing Jungle Bush. Jungle Bush is it's really weird. When I created this character last week, I started a cold and I went through a heck of a week where I injured a rib in the process. So I don't remember much of how I created this character. I just know that he's like very hippie like, and so he's got a voice modulator. So I don't force upon other people to learn my language. I can just communicate through the voice box type of thing. He's got he's super shaggy. He's big and bulky. He doesn't. He comes from the he comes from the independent worlds. Is what that was like. And he really much feels like an outsider here. But he still does the work, and it pays really well. So it's like it's more in it for the money than anything else.
Nice, cool. All right. I actually decided that the X-Wing call signs is so great that I shouldn't have it in a separate doc, so I've started moving them over into the Star Wars names and species. I'll work on that later. The last session, all three of you had scrambled at Dionysus. If you remember, that's your flagship. It's an old Corellian freighter, actually quite large thing. It was an old Republic warship, which was brought out of mothballs and into service because that's really all AWOL Joe, your squadron leader, could afford after losing your last flagship. And you guys were around the Helios planet in the House Barnaba sector of the Tapani sector. So House Barnaba province, I guess might be the best word. Helios, if you remember, and you can see it on the map that we have on our character roll for your party, is Helios is the southernmost, if you think of this like north-south, even though it's space, southernmost major planet of House Barnaba, near the Tapani sector, which was once the free world, near the Tapani sector. And there's a major trade route that dips up and runs through the Tapani sector. And there was a heavy transport freighter, that was traveling from Helios to kind of latch on and hit that trading route, which is well protected because it's under Imperial control. This freighter came under attack just before it crossed out of Barnaba space, and you guys were called upon. AWOL Joe hopped into his starfighter to join the three of you, and we didn't state this in the last session, but of course, since this is super exciting, Tiha, the camera droid, reporter, and pilot for Combat, the Holonet show, also came after you guys. We'll say maybe it was a little bit behind, but tracked your trace signatures as you guys all hopped into Lightspeed, and then you came out of hyperspeed, or came out of Lightspeed to see what was taking place. I have placed in the NPCs and things just a couple of pictures, but I'll describe it with hand gestures. First, we have the heavy transport, which is like football fields long. It's like gigantic thing that is primarily automated and is slowly crawling towards the Tapani sector. It's being attacked by 5 different starfighters. They are all of the same design, which is a little rare for pirates. They are ETA-2 Naiad class starfighters. They look rather sleek, light in armament, but relatively heavily armored, so they should be able to take a beating. And alongside, or the kind of the cruiser that evidently brought these starfighters, because they do not have hyperspeed, they don't have sublight, they have sublight engines only, is the Gazanti class cruiser. Gazanti class cruiser is primarily in use by the Imperials, and it's used to transport squads of TIE fighters, but it can easily be retrofitted to carry other starfighters across the galaxy. So you have this Gazanti class cruiser. You have 5 starfighters that are currently attacking this frigate. And of course, you're hearing, coming as soon as you come in, you hear over the main audio channel that the captain of the Blunderbuss, which is the name of this transport is still calling Mayday. We've just lost our secondary life support systems. We really need. Oh, good, you're here. Please get these tsetse flies off my back. He rumbles. And so AWOL will zip in front of you guys and lead the wing into battle. So I want to just kind of like a snapshot, just an idea of a couple images as you guys are heading in, right? So it'll be like the pilot cam to see what is the audience sees as you guys are starting to head into battle here. So I'm going to start with Jungle Bush. What is it that we see from you as you, I don't know, put S foils in attack formation or something?
So Jungle Bush, the basically what happens in the ship is that there's like these two doors that open on the top that reveal like the cluster bombs of missiles that usually pop out. And so it's like, it's like we're, preparing, I don't know what they're called again. Preparing, I don't know, pods or something. And
Sweet.
they're just like coming out. And I'm just, there's, how many of the little ships are there around?
5.
5. Okay. So I'm just going to like aim for, I'm aiming my ship for the just position between all 5 of them.
It's like head right in the middle of them. That sounds awesome. What about Oracle? What do we see from Oracle as you guys are headed towards this dogfight?
I just want to know the transport that those starfighters came on. Is that shooting as well, or is that keeping out of the fight?
It is currently keeping out of the fight.
Okay.
But
Cool.
But yeah, that thing does have some armor. It has turrets on it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe later, if I'm still alive then. So I will. We will see Oracle as she comes out of hyperspace and sees Jungle Bush go into the middle of these bozos. She just, I think at that point, she'll just try to get behind one of them and shoot them to somewhere the sun doesn't shine, or shines rather too much.
love it. Okay, cool. And then what about last but not least, Osprey? What do we see from him?
Yeah, I think what we see from Osprey is at first it's very frustrating because we see the pilot side camera and all we see is the back end of like Oracle's ship. And then, and it's just completely bad TV. And then we zoom out and we see the 2 ships and they're actually in formation where he's right behind her so that the other ships won't see him as she goes to do her run. He'll pop out from behind and hit them as well.
Oh, that's awesome. And of course, the audio mix for this is we have that low moaning sound from the Wraith. Even though we're in space, it's Star Wars, so we still hear it, because if TIE fighters can scream, then the Wraith, she can. Sweet. AWOL Joe calls over and says, all right, team, this is a dogfight. I will keep my eyes on all 3 of you best I can, and let's take out these fighters, then we're going to go after the Big Mama. So if you guys take a look at the dogfighting rules tab, I've moved over your base stats as well as the main weapons that you have, and that's all linked. So if you change it on your pilots and Warbirds tab, then that feeds into the stuff on dogfighting and strafing rules. Hopefully that'll make things a little bit easier. We'll see. So you guys are currently in a dogfight. There's no initiative. Instead, all pilots, and I'll be rolling 1 for all 5 pilots and 1 for AWOL. AWOL Joe, you guys will make a dogfighting roll, and that lines you up. We start from the highest number and lead all the way down. It's a D6 plus your performance, plus your piloting skill, plus your SA. I've got your situational awareness already up there in your dogfighting, but I don't think I put the performance. Crap. It should be a 3 for everybody. So I'll make sure that's added. Dang, that's the one thing I missed. So performance of 3.
I just want to compliment you right here for building this. This is gorgeous.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. It's the most mathy game I've run all year. All right. So your base dogfighting roll will be 1 plus performance, which I've now put on your little ref at the top, plus piloting skill plus SA. We have our roll for your party link, although I think, Blaze, you had to rejoin, so let me relink that real quick for you guys. The scarcely hopeful chimp. Cool. So all you have to do is roll a single d6, and I'll be rolling 2d6 myself. And then if you can give me the, actually, I'm going to do a d6 in pips and a d6 in numbers so I can tell them apart. Poor old Joe. All right.
I feel I'm missing something, so I'm
Sure.
rolling 1d6
Uh-huh.
plus.
And you add, so for Jungle Bush,
Yeah.
you're rolling a d6 plus 3 plus your dogfighting skill, which is 5.
Oh, okay.
Plus situational awareness, which is 1.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It just seems like a very high number. That's all.
It does. It does.
I thought the performance was already rolled into this dogfighting skill.
You're right. It is. That's why I didn't put it there. Thank you. I got freaked out there. Cool. So it's 1 plus performance plus piloting. So really, it's just 1 plus your dogfighting skill plus your situational awareness. No, actually, it's even easier than that. It's just 1 plus dogfighting. Okay, there we go. Sweet, because dogfighting is already performance plus piloting plus SA plus traits. Sweet. Way easier. D6 plus your dogfighting. Yay.
This is a very well designed character keeper.
It's better designed than I gave it credit for. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Sweet. So I'm going to have you guys. Oh, good. Thank you. You're already chatting with the thing. And then if you go down to the dogfight tracker, it starts at row 43. That's where I'm going to stick everybody in. So Osprey is at a nice 8. And we have Oracle at a 10. And what was the number that Jungle got?
10 in all.
All right. Nice. So you are going the same time as Jungle. Cool. And these guys go at...
Sorry, I made a mistake. It's 11. I rolled a 6. I rolled a 6, and I have a 5. So that's 11.
Okay. Poor AWOL Joe is the slowest of them all. Okay, we start with Jungle Bush. So, Jungle, you have the highest total rating, which means you go first. There are 5 bogeys, and I'll split them out as we kind of roll in. But for now, they're all going at 9. What do you want to do? You want to fire with those missiles? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna do. I'm basically fly through the mass of bugs and just spin my ship and just fire all my missiles. It's like a bug spray move.
Okay. So what you need to make is you're going to be making a firing roll. You can add fire with gunnery or ordnance. Heat seekers will be ordnance. Gunnery would be your heavy lasers. And that's all figured in. So it's a D6 plus 3 for either of those 2 rolls.
Sounds good. So I get a 5 plus 3. I get an 8.
Got an 8. Okay, cool. So then what you have to do is beat the defense of the pilot. So this first pilot is going with the default break defense, which means you need to be a 4. You got an 8, so you got a lead plus 4. That's scary. What is the damage of the item you use?
The Heat Seekers are lead +5.
Jeez and crackers. That's basically +9. Okay. So you've just taken out one of the 5 with that incredible roll, and these guys now know break defense is not going to work out for these poor salads. So yeah, is it another one of those like array of missiles all come out?
Yeah, it shoots at all the missiles. The point that I'm trying to get here, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how it works spatially, is I'm trying to get them to follow me. I want them to dedicate me as their biggest threat. I can take all the hits. It's fine. Like my buddies can take them like all
Nice.
to pieces. But yeah.
All right, sweet. So first foray is a volley of missiles that all fly in, snap to target, and knock one of these ships immediately out of the sky. It's just so much damage that it's more than that one can take. Fantastic. Oracle, you're up. You still got the 4. They have all broken away from firing towards the transport at this point after seeing one of their buddies get shot to scrap, and they're turning to face you guys. What do you do, Oracle? Talking on mute.
That's so horrible. Since I think I want the dogfighty thing, then I'm the one behind one of these, right?
Okay. Yeah, so you can kind of rail in. You've got 2 choices. You can either go ahead and take your shot, or you can spin around trying to dial it in, which would increase your ability.
I'll just try to hit him where it hurts. I'll use my heavy lasers, which means I have to roll with gunnery, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the accuracy of them is 1, and I have a +1 bonus for my turn radius to dogfight, so I roll with +4.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
so that is pretty delightful. This particular pilot drops into a kick turn to try to defend against this attack. So they will be rolling against you. They're trying to roll a stunt.
Okay, I have a 9.
Okay, you have a 9. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll the baddies. You can tell they're bad because I'm not using a pip d6. That's how I define them as bad. All right, so you got a 9, and they're piling. Yeah, they're not gonna pull that off. However, they did get a 6 total. So you are at a lead +3 for hitting them. So what you see is you dial in behind one of the pirates. He tries to pull a snap turn and kick around, effectively like facing you, but you stay on him and fire. So go ahead. What is you were using heavy lasers?
Yeah, I'm using heavy lasers.
All right, so heavy lasers is a lead +2. You got a lead 3, so that's 5 total. Just coming in towards that guy. And they have a bit of armor, so that's not going to take this one out. But what you do is you shear its right wing, which is going to significantly affect its maneuverability and give it some minuses. So bogey number 2 has taken, let's see, it was a lead +2, +3, 5, -3. So it took 2 hit to structure. All right. Sweet. So you shear off that wing and fly past. Now, my guys are lined up. So we have 3 bogeys that are in good shape and 1 that has some minuses to this roll. The one with minuses to the roll is going to try to pull back and escape out of the way. This is the guy that pulled off the kick turn. He's now braking and trying to head towards the Gazanti class cruiser. So he's giving up his attack to try to head back to the Gazanti. The other 3, though, are each going to target one of you, and AWOL Joe falls in behind. He looks at the 3. He falls in behind you, Oracle. Not sure how you take that. That will be interesting to talk about later. So they're each going to fire against you. You have 3 defenses you can engage. I can go, if you want to go with a max performance of trying to stay out of their way, you can just say, I'm using my break defense, and then I'll roll against that. You can say your turn to try to escape the fight by any means necessary, which increases your defense, but means that you then are escaping out of the fight. Is anyone doing escape defense?
No.
And then the third one is that you could pull a defense, which is a stunt. Instead of the standard combat maneuvers, you're trying to pull off fancy flying to gain the advantage. So when you roll a stunt, your defense is 1d6 plus your piloting plus your spatial awareness, and can give you a pretty low defense, right? Because you're rolling a d6. But if you don't get hit, then you get a +1 to your next dog fighting roll. Does anyone want to stunt, or is everybody comfortable going with break defense to see how this looks?
No, I want to do a stunt.
Awesome.
Because
Okay,
why
so
not?
if you look on the dogfighting rules, there are stunts listed. So grab one of those that seems interesting.
I like to do a defensive spiral. I haven't read the description, but I like the name.
All right, defensive spiral sounds fun. Cool. So what you're doing then is you'll have to calc up your piloting plus your spatial awareness.
That's 3.
All right. So I'm going to roll a d6 plus their dogfighting. So I've got their rolls up here. It's a d6 plus 4 for this guy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just rolled a 10, so chances are that he's
I have a 7.
Okay.
They'll hit me.
So he just got a lead 3.
Mhm.
And the lasers that he's firing are 2. So he does 5 total damage. So what you see is you drop into a spiral, and his little indicator is popping all over the place. And so he just opens up with some lasers that seem to spray across the back of the canopy of your ship. If 5 come through, your armor, if I remember correctly, is a 3.
Yeah.
So if you pop back, and unfortunately it's not on both tabs, if you pop back, you've taken 2 points of damage to the structure. So starting at row 41, you'll just, there you go. And you notice it has a 0 to the right and a 0 to the right. That means you do not have any impairment. So that -1, if you take 1 more point of structure damage, that -1 means that you're going to have a -1 to future rolls until that's repaired. So your spiral defense may have saved you, but you still took some fire there, and AWOL Joe is going to try to take this guy out next round. So now we were going to see what is going on with Osprey. Osprey, your Wraith breaks off. One of the ships is going to be firing with ordnance. I'm sorry, these guys don't have ordnance. They're too light. So this guy is, he's just going to try to break in and come with a strafing attack, although I'm using the wrong terminology because that's used against big things. So he's going to try to dial in behind you and pull off a few shots. So he's going with a regular dogfighting roll. Is he rolling against your break defense, or do you want to do a stunt?
Let's see what the break defense looks like.
All right, cool. So he's got a difficulty of your break defense is, I'll glance that real quickly. Your break defense is a 6. Okay. So I've got to beat a 6. Let's see if you can do that. Okay, so he has barely beaten your defense. Chances are this may not pierce through armor. He's got a lead 2. He rolled with additives an 8. So he's a lead 2. His heavy lasers are a 2. So, or not heavy lasers, but his regular lasers are a 2. So he got a lead 4. Your armor's a 3. So 1 gets through. What do you think this looks like? Is it where in the ship do you think that you took a couple of small hits?
I think that this is actually piercing through the wing, on the outer edge of the wing, and you see this hole, this jagged hole kind of form in the side of the wing as the laser hits it.
Awesome, awesome. And you hear Tiha, "Oh my, that was very close. Excellent, excellent work." And then last but not least, Jungle Bush, you have maybe their ace, because you see as he's coming towards you, he's got a couple of marks along the side, like kill marks along the side of his cockpit there. And he is going to take fire on you. Are you doing a stunt, or am I going against your break defense?
I'm going to also stunt, and I'm going to try to do a stall turn.
Ooh, sweet. Stall turns are fun. All right. So here we go. He has pulled off a 9. You've got to beat a 9 with your stunt. And if so, you've evaded this fire.
Okay. So it's when I roll, it's sorry.
It's okay.
Numbers, math. I rolled a 4. I don't think it's good enough, but
okay.
Let's add the numbers together and see what happens. I just need to know which numbers. Okay, stunt. Okay.
It's 1d6 plus piloting plus spatial awareness.
Oh, okay. So 6 plus 4 is 10.
Wow. Just great by. That's awesome. So what does that turn look like as you evade this guy's shot? It's a stall turn, right?
Yeah. So basically, wait, did I read? Yeah. Basically I do kind of like a jackknife maneuver where I'm just like, I just swing my ship around. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
it's like pulling that head brake move that Poe does in The Last Jedi, where he breaks the flow of his jet engines for a second, lets the non-gravity pull in, and then puts it back out again. So he just like shifts the angle of his ships and moves completely out of the way.
that is awesome. And what happens with that stall turn is next round, both of you will be out of dogfighting and you're just going head to head, which is terrifying and super dangerous. And I adore it. And it feels very Jungle Bush.
It's okay. I've got a reinforced.
Can I ask a question? Because I don't see how he gets from a roll of 4 to a 10.
Oh.
Or does he? I'm just confused here about the rules.
Oh, no. Good question. So let's take a look. So the stunt would have been
it's a 4.
D6 plus piloting plus SA. So you're piloting.
Snoot. What's my piloting?
Sorry, I don't mind. I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
Yeah, so your piloting
plus
really SA is a 2.
Okay, so no, I didn't get it.
Okay. All right, no worries. So I'm going to actually just stick in the stunt roll in here so that we've got that. So everybody has it, and that should save us confusion going forward. So let's see, your SA is here, and your piloting is there. Cool. So now you've got a stunt roll, which is up on line 7, and I'm going to do that for everybody real quick. That way it'll save. I created a cheat sheet, and it doesn't have some of the things that we're using, so that's not helpful. All right, and then go one last one, and hopefully we will be flying aces again. All righty, there we go. So you don't pull off the stunt. So you rolled a 4 plus 2 is a 6, and his roll was a 9. So he's a lead 3. So you flip around for the stall turn, but it doesn't throw him off.
Yeah.
And his lead 3 and 2 for the weapon gives a 5. So a lead 5. Your armor is a 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 dings that you take, and then he streaks past you. Because he is not going to go into a head-to-head. So go ahead and mark a couple of those little dingies, but you take no penalties. So we now go to old AWOL Joe. No, we go to Osprey. What am I doing? Why would I skip the Wraith. Osprey, you took a little bit of damage to your wing. What do you want to do?
So I think. So the one that's escaped, the way that mechanically that works is they're gone. They're not going to come back into play.
They're not going to come back into this fight. You can pursue them, but it then would take you out of the fight as well.
Okay, so I'm not going to do that. So that means there's really 3 left. So I think I'm going to swing around and I'm going to shoot at the next one in the formation that's coming towards Oracle.
Okay.
And that is a D6 plus dogfighting, right?
Uh-huh.
My dogfighting is a 6. So, and I rolled a 5, so that's an 11.
Holy crap. Yeah, this guy's got a stunt. Like, that's just too much. He's pretty much hosed here. All right, I think he is he's gonna go into a high yo-yo, and he gets a +2 to his dogfighting roll for this, but if he loses the roll, then he's a -1 defense for the round. So let's see if he can pull this off. So he's got a dogfighting of +4. With a high yo-yo, he gets a +6. And I've got to beat your 11.
Mm-hmm.
This does not look good. For 1. Okay. So, dang it. +7 for the roll. You got a lead +4. What is the armament or the damage?
It's heavy lasers are lead +2. So that would be 6.
Dang it. Dang. Poor guy trying to pull off a stunt. All right, so his armor. Yes.
Does he get -1 defense for that?
He does.
Yeah.
So he gets -1 defense. So that means that he is actually, that's a 7 then. So the structure 3, or the armor of, oh, geez. So this guy's nearly dead. Poor guy. All right. 2, 2, 2.
And the way that this looks on screen is basically Oracle and I have kind of lined them up. And the first guy kind of came underneath where Oracle was to try to get behind her. And that's whenever he saw me open fire and blast it through my wing. Well, I zipped down underneath and kind of pinch him between the two of us and fire at him. And he wasn't expecting this. So that's why he got hurt so bad.
Nice. So he is, we already see some smoke and sparks coming out of the engine, and he's lost the left engine, and you can see that the ship is already a little wobbly, and that'll be number 5. Now, AWOL Joe is here, and I think AWOL Joe is going to be falling in, like lining up behind the ship that was firing on Oracle. So AWOL Joe will make his roll. Okay, and his dogfighting is a +7. So with his roll of a 3, he got a 10. The guy's break defense is 4. It's a lead +6. And I think that guy can take it. So number 3, the guy that peppered you, Oracle, AWOL Joe, pulls in heavy lasers, fires on him, and just sears across the cockpit, and it explodes out of the sky. At the end of round 1, a very deadly dogfight sees that we have 2 baddies left, and all of you guys, everybody has taken a little bit of damage. Let's go ahead and re-roll your effectively initiative, your dogfighting. And we'll start with totals, and I'll reorient the tracker.
I have a 6 total.
Okay. Wait, oh. All right. And let me check. Okay. Well, Joe, it's feast or famine now. Osprey, you are at a 7, and Sabine's at 11. Look at this. You guys are great. And our two baddies, they actually do pretty well too. Their dogfighting is 4, so they're at 10s. AWOL Joe goes first. So I think AWOL Joe is going to try to. I mean, he's going to steal your glory a little bit, guys. Sorry. He's an Ace Spider too. So that is 7, 12. This guy's going to try to stunt because he's terrified. So let's see if he can stunt. And with the math on his stunt, that gives him 11, 7, 4. Cool. He takes out the guy that you were firing after Osprey. You hammered into there. As that guy is gone, there's only one person left. Oracle, you have the sole survivor of the dogfighting crew.
That is not the one that I hit before, right?
It is. It is the one you hit before because AWOL Joe took out the one fighting Osprey, who was nearly dead. He basically picked him off to get the kill. It was kind of a cheap maneuver.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess then I'll go for that guy again.
Okay, great. He's going to stunt again because it worked not at all well for him before.
Okay.
Roll 6.
Okay, so I probably
Need to be an 8.
He has an 8. Okay, I need to beat that. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a 6 too. So I have a 6 plus my. I'm shooting now, right? So I have to roll with gunnery plus accuracy plus my dogfighting bonus. That's 4 and 6. That's 10.
Dang it! All right, so you have a lead too. I think
Yeah.
he's done for, but we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, I don't make any damage because I'm really shooting only the heavy lasers because the railgun, I'll never hit anything with that. So,
Okay.
So it's just 2 damage. I think he'll just take 2 damage.
Oh, wait, it's a lead 2 plus you're doing your lasers, so that'd be 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
4.
so
right.
4 minus his armor. Okay, I get what you're saying. 2 damage is not good. He is actually going to try to surrender at this point. That is his act. Because he is nearly out of this fight. But that he'll be calling over. I don't know if you guys will listen to him or not, but his thing, he's just going to try to pull an escape and head back to the Gazanti class cruiser. Osprey, you see this guy trying to bail and head back to the his cruiser. What do you do?
If I'm not mistaken, I heard AWOL Joe give the order, we'll take care of the little buzz fighters and then go after the big ship. Is that
That's
right?
exactly what he said, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go after the big ship with my railgun.
Sweet. So you're going to head straight in and start strafing? Just ignore
Ignore the little ships that are running away. And the railgun, does it have a better... I haven't ever shot it before. Does it have a distance or anything like that? Or can it actually be used to strafe?
So you can absolutely use the railgun to strafe.
Okay.
But be advised that you would need to you basically have to make an approach, which will put you in range to be fired upon.
And can you fire from a distance?
You can fire from a distance, but the distance is kind of equal to the long-range turrets of the ship itself. Okay.
I understand better. With the heavy ordnance or whatever it was, I thought that was something that was more further distance. So in that case, then I'm going to start going after the little ships that are still within our range, but we're outside of the range of the big ship.
Okay, cool.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I think
the closest one is the one that probably Oracle just hit.
Yep.
If
you want to try to take that down, you can snag that kill. By the way, I hope you guys are tracking your kills for dogfighting kills, because Jungle Bush, you have a second dogfighting kill. AWOL Joe has 2 and 1 escape. So I think we've only had 1 kill from you guys. Joe snagged 2 kills.
How do the kills matter?
When you get the last shot, it gives you a kill. That's how you go from pilot to ace pilot, which can gain you fame and also better access to better stuff. So,
okay. So I'm going to roll for the shooting. That's with the heavy lasers. That is a 4 + 6. So that's a 10 total.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to try to stunt out of this, but I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, you got to lead 3 against his stunt, and that will be enough to take him out. Yeah, go ahead and mark a dogfighting kill as this guy who tried to attack Osprey and then broke away after Osprey or Oracle nailed him and is trying to limp back to the Gazanti. You finish him off.
Okay.
And you hear the blunderbuss captain call over the comms, "Oh, thank you so much. We're going to keep moving. We've got a lot of repairs. We're going to try to get to Imperial space." And AWOL Joe says, "Not bad, team. Come on, guys. Let's go take out this Gazanti." And so you now see that one of the ships, the one ship that escaped, is actually like landing in the Gazanti class cruiser. The other one that tried to escape is gone. And we now transition to the strafing rules tab. Check in, everybody okay? All right. So strafing's a little bit different, but not that different. For strafing, you're going against a hard target effectively. And that hard target is the Gazanti class. So rather than it rolling every time, it has a threat. The threat rating is what you guys are rolling against to see if you go first or if it goes first. And everybody rolls individually. Its threat right now is a 10. Okay? So I'll just call it Gazanti. And if you move to the strafing rules, it starts on row 32 where I have the strafing tracker. And there are, and I'll actually, maybe I should just drop this into chat so you guys have access to it. But there are subsystems. So I'm gonna walk this through real quick and then we'll jump in. Everybody rolls their quote unquote initiatives to see if you go before the cruiser or after. If you go before it, you make an attack roll, and then it's going to fire back at you with what it has left, you and everybody else with what it has left. If you roll after it does, it gets to fire on you as you're coming in for your approach. And so what this is modeling is the idea that Gazanti is here, it's a hard target. You guys are coming in, the turrets are firing on you. And if you make your roll, then you avoid any of that damage coming in hard and make your attack. You get 2 total attacks. You can make a ordnance and a gunnery attack. And with the gunnery attack, you roll, of course, your gunnery. And you can target subsystems, which I'm going to list up in chat for you guys. With the ordnance, you just roll to fire off the ordnance, and then it's effectively random what you hit, right? That makes sense? Any questions about that piece? So the threat is like the whole Gazanti class cruiser. And as you damage it, the threat will go down, making it easier to make attacks before it attacks back. If you attack subsystems, each of those subsystems have their own armor. And so until you take out that armor, it will continue to fire. Once you take out that armor, you'll start poking through and affecting the threat as well as taking out that subsystem. Some of the subsystems are the turrets, of course, because they're firing at you, the gun emplacements. You can go for the engines, the bridge, the flight decks, of which there are 2, or the core itself. That's a lot. I actually, rather than putting it in the chat, I think it might be easier if I just stick it to the right of the strafing tracker. Hopefully that will be easier for you guys. But that is there. And now, again, we're on the strafing rules tab. So as you guys are heading in, AWOL Joe says, all right, this is a Gazanti, folks. We've got 4 gun emplacements. We do have a bridge. You can see it right there. It's kind of poking above the main core. 2 engines which have significant amount of defense and armor, but their structure is not very strong. So if you can poke through, it's going to hurt. We've got 2 flight decks. We know at least 1 pilot is on board, probably swapping out to a better starfighter. So let's keep our eyes on that. If you destroy that flight deck, then they cannot launch or recover any more fighters. And the core, of course, is going to be pretty damn strong. Any questions as we go in on this hard target?
Where do you want us to focus our fire?
Let's take out the bridge. Let's all take out the bridge. Let's see how that goes. Cool. So let's have everybody roll. You can just roll your strafing. So Jungle Bush, you got a 5. Oracle, Osprey. Oracle is 6, and Osprey is a 5. And I don't have to roll for that guy's quite yet. Oops. AWOL's doing okay.
I get an 8. 3 plus 5 in strafing is 8.
Okay. The Gazanti's going to be firing on you first. Osprey is going at 9. Fires on you first, and or no, sorry, Oracle is has a 9, and Osprey is the O's. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to probably forever screw that up. So Osprey and AWOL Joe will both get to fire on the Gazanti first. Okay. Oh, the approach. As you guys come in close, of course, the turrets are already firing, so you have like little explosions nearby you, almost like chaff. And you and AWOL head in. AWOL pulls in behind you, behind the Wraith, try to give you a little bit of covering fire, and you get to head in. So you make against the static, the rolls against the static number of the threat. That's the gun emplacements on the target, their fire arcs, rate of fire, lethality, all that good stuff. If you fail to beat the threat, then the gunners equal to the leader of the threat get to take shots at you guys up to a maximum of 3. We'll do that in a second. It's helpful for you guys to gang up when strafing because the gunners will have to split their fire. And so what you need to do is roll against the threat right now. So the attack. Approaching the target, the fighter can make 2 attacks, 1 with gunnery or 2 if they're light lasers, 1 with ordnance. Both attacks are rolled and resolved at the same time. The defense of any strafing target is almost always 3 plus performance. I believe I have the defense on my notes. Let me grab that. Defense is 4. Okay, cool. So pretty easy to hit. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
So
oh yes,
I have a quick question. You mentioned that what we're trying to hit is the threat, or are we trying to hit the defense? Because the threat right now is at 10, and the defense is at 4.
Yes. So the threat is effectively for the. They don't want to call it initiative, but it's really initiative. Okay. The threat's for initiative. The defense is what you're attacking with your attack rolls. So pretty easy. You just need to be each of these have a defense. So the bridge's defense is a 6. There we go, because you're specifically targeting the bridge. So defense is 6.
Okay. And we have 2 things that we do at the same time. We strafe and we use ordnance.
You use ordnance and you use your strafing roll. Correct.
Okay. So let me roll for that as I go in. So I'll do the ordnance first, which I rolled a 3, so that gives me a total of 5 for my ordnance.
So that means that your ordnance is.
Can I ask another question, because I'm really confused about these rules? Does the accuracy of the guns add to that, or doesn't it?
Yes, I don't have it automatically calculated in because it's hard to know which of those you'd be using. So the accuracy should be added in for your strafing. And don't forget to make note of the armor piercing. now that you guys are going to be using ordnance, that armor piercing is pretty important because it just means that's less defense that I get to add to it when it actually pokes through.
So I'm going to talk through this a little bit to make sure I'm doing
let's do
everything
it
correctly. So I rolled a 3, okay, and my ordnance lists 1d6 plus 2. I think that the accuracy is already factored into the ordnance because it was that way before. Is that not true?
Let me take a look.
Okay.
So your strafing roll is J64. Okay. So and thank you for asking this question. I think I outsmarted myself by actually automating some stuff and then forgetting what I automated because there's so much going on. So the ordnance the strafing roll is ordnance plus K27, which is 30 plus 27, which would be your situation plus ordnance. So it does not take into account the ordnance or the accuracy rating.
Okay. So that means that I actually get a flat roll, so I got a 3 to hit it.
Okay.
Cool. That makes sense.
So the ordnance roll, you do need to take into account your accuracy.
Right.
Cool. All right. So that means you got a 3 to hit.
Right. So it went wild.
Right. So it does go wild just barely because it's random with your railgun. Yeah, it does go wild. So the railgun does not hit. Your heavy lasers is a separate attack. And what did you roll against that one? Defense of 6?
So I rolled a 2.
Okay.
Plus my strafing, which are those 2 stats. So that'd be a 7.
Sorry, but for your lasers, you would need gunning, right? Not strafing. Strafing is just for running at the ship, not for shooting.
Well, that's what he's running at the ship and running at the bridge.
Oh, okay, cool. So I can use strafing with my attack rolls on the ship, instead of gunnery.
Right. Use strafing instead of gunnery when you are going in on the strafe roll with your guns, and then ordnance is just an ordnance roll.
That's cool.
Okay. So strafing is a 5. So the roll of 2 plus 5 is 7.
That
plus
hits.
The accuracy of heavy lasers is 1.
Okay.
Okay, so that'd be 8.
And you were specifically targeting the bridge.
That's right.
So what is your lead? The armor for this is a 4.
Okay. So it was 8. So basically, I had 8. If the defense of this was a 6, so that I think that makes the lead a 2.
Yep.
So it's 2 plus 2.
Which is 4.
Which is 4, and the armor is a 4. So it's a tie.
Yep. So it's one of those, you fire on it, you hit it a couple times at the bridge. We look at the bridge. There are a couple of pirates who are there on the bridge, and they kind of flinch, but it did not pierce. That's your hand place. Do you have a question?
Could you add reserve on top of that roll?
You could. If you want to add reserve to get that lead up 1 higher, then you could take out 1 point of its structure.
Okay, and I spend reserve. Is it just you spend a point?
You can spend multiple points if you want it, but you spend a point, 1 for 1.
Yeah, so I'll just spend 1. Thank you very much. That's a great
suggestion.
So I'll spend 1 to get just a little bit more through. Does that reduce anything else? Does that reduce the?
It only reduces your reserve, so it goes from 4 to 3.
Right, I got that. But does it reduce anything on the target side?
It reduces threat. Is that the question you're asking?
Yeah.
So the threat goes down. Let me make sure I'm okay. Meter beat threat. Okay. The attack. Okay. Anytime a substructure is disabled, the structure track is full. The main target takes a point of damage and the threat is reduced by 1. So this 1 point of damage to the structure does not take down the threat yet. If you took out the other 2 and took out the bridge, then the threat would go down.
Okay. Since I'm that close, I'm going to spend a second point of reserve. So actually do 2 points of damage. Yeah.
All right.
And I think the way that this looks is you see this, the guns kind of fire, the heavy lasers fire, and they fire right through where the bridge is. And you see everyone duck, and you see these burn scorch marks where the, through the glass that they all look out. And then you see this crack form, and it kind of blasts out, and then you see that metal come down to kind of hold it in place. After the glass is blasted out, maybe you see a few bodies kind of float out.
Nice. Oh, that's wicked. That is cool. I dig it. I dig it. All right. Good. Thank you very much. That was very helpful for me. I hope it didn't confuse anybody worse. The Gazanti now gets to go. And again, remember, it has 4 gun emplacements. It gets to fire upon Jungle Bush and Oracle, Osprey and AWOL. They're all going to fire on you guys equally. So the way that I do that is I get to know, are you guys going with a... Well, no, you can't. You can't stunt on a strafe. You just go with your regular break defense, my friends. All right, here we go. So the break defenses are 5, 6, and 6. Quite good. I am going to, because these are bad guys, I'll be rolling 4d6 in numbers. And I'm just going to go left to right with AWOL Joe being the first to take a shot. AWOL Joe is totally missed. These guys are rolling at a +3. So 5 against Jungle is a push because you have a 5. A 3 + 3 is 6, which is a... Damn it. Okay, but the last was a 6. Yay, Osprey, you're going to get hit. No, you're not. Oh, they're all pushes. Like, oh, no, wait. 6 + 3, 9. Yes, so lead 3 for this gun. I'm sorry, I'm celebrating it getting shot, but...
No, it's fine.
All right.
So it got a lead of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any additional damage on top of that?
It is a lead +2 damage.
So it's 5.
Yeah.
Minus armor?
Minus your armor. And actually, that should have been a lead +2, but it still is greater than 6. So he does barely hit you. All right, so they do lead +2 damage. I rolled a 6 + 2 is an 8 minus your break defense of 6. So that was +2. Lead +2 is 4 coming through, 3 armor, 1 tick to your structure.
Okay.
So it's one of those where all of you guys kind of swarm around. The turrets are swiveling and trying to fire, but no one gets hit seriously except for a tink on Osprey, and you get hit. Now, after that, Oracle and Jungle Bush, you guys have survived the approach. Oracle, you get to go on a strafing roll. Good luck. Are you targeting a specific subsystem?
The bridge is still alive.
Yes.
I mean, it's heavily damaged, but it's still... Well, then I'm targeting the bridge, I guess.
Okay, go for it.
So I'll do the ordnance thing first, which probably won't amount to a lot because I need a 6. No, I have a 2, so that is not a hit. And then I'll go with my heavy lasers, where I start off at a 7, and then I have a 6, so we're at 13, and I think I hit it.
Wow, you hit the crap out of it. Okay. So you roll a 13, the bridge's defense is 6. So that is lead +7.
And +2 for the heavy lasers is a 9.
That is 9 against the armor of 4. So 5 go through. It only had 1 left in the structure.
Sorry.
The bridge goes out. Is there anything we see with that bridge exploding?
Oh, it's not just exploding, it's burning.
Nice.
Because I have these incendiary. No, wait, that's my ordnance. Forget it. It's not burning.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
there are some burning things on the hull that you can see where my ordnance hits and then flames up, but it doesn't do anything except look pretty and dramatic because, you know, fire will burn a while in space because you can hear it, obviously.
Of course, Star Wars.
And but what you can then see is the pepper coming out through the flames and shooting towards the bridge and just hitting it with these lasers, and it's already been pretty badly damaged, and now we will have some explosions because Star Wars, come on, it should explode.
Yeah, I think it's like a moment of like one guy went, there were some bodies that came out with the captain's like, keep firing, and then you come right in and they had that little temporary force field that was up. You fire through that and it takes out. Oh yeah, T-Ha is like, oh, that was excellent. If only you could have hit with a rail gun. You should, Roger, go for that rail gun next time. And yeah, that's pretty great. Nice work. Jungle Bush, you're up. The threat is down now down to 9.
Okay. I'm going to do an ordnance run or a strafing run with an ordnance run, and I'm going to target the flight pods. No, just its engine. Just go straight for the engine.
Okay, cool. Engine's defense is 6.
Okay. Now we'll do the ordnance run. The ordnance roll.
Well, they
first,
technically
right?
go simultaneously, but go ahead. If you're declaring that's what you want to roll first, go for it.
Okay. So I want to get it right. So I'll roll my die 6, which is 3. And then my ordnance is a 3. My heat seekers are at -2, so it's 1. So that's a 4 on the roll is a 4.
Okay.
So I don't think that hits, right?
Yeah, you need a 6 or better. So it looks like you
6
come in with your ordnance and it hits, right? It would probably hit several points, but it doesn't penetrate through the armor.
Okay. Could I use reserve to increase that?
You certainly can.
Okay, so I will reduce my reserve by 2 to make that a hit.
Okay. All right. So that means you're a lead 0, but you've got armor piercing of 2.
Yep.
And a lead +5 from the heat seekers, which is pretty significant. So that means I've only got an armor of 2. I apply against that lead +5. So 3 get 3. Wow, you just took out the engines. That was freaking awesome.
Amazing.
Okay, cool. So how do you like? Do you come in behind? Is it one of those things where you just guide the heat seekers? And
so it's basically where all the ships are like peering through, like, you know, they're going to the ship. I'm actually diving underneath and like trying to pinpoint. Okay, so I think the engine should be right around, and I lounge them like at almost point blank shot, you know, right exactly where I think they should be, instead of like launching from a great distance. It's like more of a shotgun approach of taking my ship directly where I think the engine should be, and then when we're really close, just launching all the buckshot into the armor.
Nice. AWOL Joe will call over. Oh wow, this baby's dead in the water. Great job, team. Great job. Let's go in and take out those gun emplacements and see if they'll surrender. And now we are end of round, so you guys get to roll all over again. The threat is now 8. So go ahead and roll your strafing, friends. For AWOL.
I have a 10.
Yeah, you get to go first. I'm pretty sure. No, you go the same time as Oracle and nice. All right. Since we just saw you go, let's go ahead and see what Oracle does, although these actions are effectively simultaneous. think you're talking on mute.
I totally am not talking on mute. I love talking on mute. I love the sound of my voice echoing in the reaches of my tiny, tiny room. So, yeah, no, what I'm going to do is the gun emplacements. I think let's go and hit him because, might be fun to do that. I'll do that first with my ordnance, which probably won't do a lot. I've got a 4, but I can use my reserve to turn that up to, I think, 6, right? And then I'll hit him.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So yeah, with the reserve, you push that through to the gun emplacements. What does it look like when? Because I know you're kind of like, if I remember, Oracle goes a little bit with where the Force guides her. So what does it look like when you're pulling on that reserve?
I think what that looks like is that she's just been avoiding or evading these gun emplacements, and it's almost weird, like almost this gun is following her, and then she is kind of following the gun, and it's kind of you switch perspectives, who's the attacker and who is not, and then suddenly she's besides the gun and just blows up the base of this gun emplacement, because I think with an armor of 2 and I make 4 damage, it will just evaporate this one.
Nice. Yes, it will. So you will go ahead and you've taken out the one that would have been firing on you. How much reserve did you spend?
2.
2. Okay. Sweet.
Oh.
All right. So you dial in, and that gun emplacement is now they're down to 3, and that is pretty delicious. Jungle Bush, what are you doing?
So I'll try to take out a laser turret.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so
Defensive 6.
Okay, so I'll do the heat seeker again with the ordnance.
Okay.
I can't believe I can always do this. It's so weird. Cool. Okay, so 1d6. Oh no, I failed miserably. That's a 1.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't even spend reserve on that sucker. All right, so yeah, heat seekers fire off. Maybe they hit the engine again. The heat from that thing just drew it off, and that didn't work. We'll double back for your laser. Yeah, we should go ahead and have you roll that, and then once you're done with that, we'll bounce over to Jungle Bush for his lasers as well.
Cool. Laser. Oh, I rolled a 1. So I'm only at 8.
The defense. Oh, is your strafing that good? Oh, because your accuracy, or
I've got a strafing of 6. My accuracy of 1 for the lasers.
Holy crap!
And I'm at lead +2 in damage for the heavy lasers, so that there goes another gun thingy.
Wow, that is pretty fantastic. Good work. All right, so another gun emplacement down. Let's do Jungle Bush's lasers.
Okay, so that'll be gunnery. Okay, let's see.
Should be strafing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, that's right. We're using strafing. This game. I think that's 2 plus 5 is 7. Plus 1 is 8.
Okay. And 8 is a success.
Great.
So 8 is a +2, a lead +2. And you only have 2 armor, heavy lead. So that's 4 coming through. And I've got an armor of 2. So you've done 2 defense, or 2 damage to one of these. And that takes it out. Oh, man, I've only got 1 gun placement left.
There's a howl that comes out of like my Wookiee, and it translates into the box as joy, joy, joy.
Nice. Is that all the gun emplacements? I thought you took out 2. Yeah,
And he
that's it.
and Bush took out 2, so that's 4. So we took them all out.
Sweet.
And also it's burning because I used my ordnance, and that is what is burning.
Nice.
I have to roll for that when it does, because
Good.
let's see what it does. Oh, it does. It's just a 5. It's okay. So what it does is it's an obstructing smoke. Target is at -1 to the dogfighting to threat, and all attacks next round while they clear the smoke.
Sweet. So we kind of go into the Gazanti, and like one of the hallways is filled with smoke, and they're frantically trying to repair it to get out. And the Gazanti goes at 8, because that's what it was at the beginning of the round, although now it's actually going to go down to a 7 next round. What happens with the Gazanti is it has no gun emplacements at this point. The flight decks, however, are going to spew out a pair of fighters. One guy who just came home and took off, and the other one being a pilot that was on in reserve. Osprey, you are up. You see there are a pair of starfighters that have come out of the flight deck at this point. All of the gun emplacements are down. The engines are down. The bridge is out. What do you want to do?
So if I go after the 2 starships that just took off, are they engaging us? Number 1?
Great question. They are not engaging you. They are trying to get the heck out of Dodge. They're trying to escape. And you see there are a couple of escape pods, 2 of them, that pop out of the Gazanti as well. There's people who just said, this is out, I'm out, and have hopped into escape pods.
Okay. And our orders that we were given are to stop the attack. Is it to destroy the pirates?
Take out the pirate threat.
Okay. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to necessarily go after them. I think that AOL Joe said something about seeing if they would surrender.
Mhm.
And I think I will broadcast a general surrender to the Gazanti as well as to the 2 ships taking off, saying, turn yourselves in. And actually, in that case, I'm actually going to start chasing after those 2 ships.
Okay.
Is there a way I can line them up and say, disengage your engines and we will tow you to base?
Absolutely. So what I think that we should do there is we'll actually be using the ground pounder rule because you're trying to talk them into a thing.
Okay.
However, I recommend that you use your fame here to boost your roll. So you've got a fame of 2, and it's just the fact that you are an ace pilot who's offering them the chance to not die.
Okay.
Cool.
So roll 2d6. Let's see what happens. I rolled a 9.
That is awesome.
And I think my fame is a 2, so that makes it an 11.
Okay, on a 10 or 11 is a full success. You do it without complications. You hear the pirate call back one of the 2 pilots. It was the guy that escaped and hopped in a new fighter and came out. I want a fair trial. I want a fair trial.
We are always fair. Cut your engines and we will tow you back.
All right, and he cuts engines, and his little wingman cuts engines as well. I will tell you specifically, Oracle, that guy who's speaking has like just a hint of an accent to his tone that you recognize, specifically because you, being part of House Barnaba, you have faced off or dealt with House McKetty many times in the past, and that guy has like a McKetty accent to his voice.
Okay, so interesting. I will bring this up, but not right now.
Okay, cool. So you guys have won the fight. I'm going to give each of you effectively a total of 3 fame points for this particular encounter. The way that your fame goes up is that when you get 3 times your current rating, it goes up by 1. So I think that someone's, at least 1, maybe 2 fames go up. Maybe everybody's fame goes up. So if you take a look on line 23, it's your current fame points. You're getting 3 more. And if you, your fame is basically your fame points divided by 3.
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess nobody's gone up. Sorry, I was doing my math wrong. You have to get 9 in order to go up to fame 3. There we go.
It's the new fame thing we need to, 3 times the new fame we need to reach. Or is it 3 times the current fame?
I will look it up. Now I've confused myself. I thought I knew, and then we started talking, and I got confused. I thought it was fame is equal to your fame points divided by 3. But now wow, my PDF readers decide to go crazy. Cool. I think this is a good point to take our first little break. We're at 39 after. Let's go ahead and
Actually,
take a... Oh, sorry.
Before we take the break, do we need to keep track of strafing kills and all of that?
Yes, you should keep track of your strafing kills.
So if I hit the bridge last, that would be mine?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and 2 of these gun thingies. Okay.
So I got the engine, and did I finish a gun turret, or am I
2, right?
Yeah, you finished 2 gun turrets. Thank you. Doing this after the fact would be very difficult. Thank you for reminding us to circle back to it. All right. So you've got your strafing kills figured out. That's pretty sweet. And your dogfighting kills are good. Osprey, I'm going to give you 1 more dogfighting kill because you got these 2 guys to surrender. So go ahead and mark a dogfighting kill for Osprey. Be your 3rd. And good. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. question, Blaze. You're in Canada. What part of Canada? I can't remember.
I'm in Ottawa, so like east center. Most people out west consider Ottawa east. My wife's family is from like Calgary, and they think that we're like the east, but there is Atlantic Canada that's like the actual east, which is like 12-hour drive away from here. So like Southern Ontario, we're the division between Ontario and Quebec, so it's the nation's capital. But on one side you have which is Ontario, which is mostly Anglophone. It has some Francophone, like Francophone bones. But then on the Quebec side, it's mostly Francophones. I am a Francophone, but yeah, so that's basically where I'm from.
Cool. Trying to find Ottawa. I'm looking at a Google map, and I see Winnipeg, and I see Ontario itself.
East.
Much
More
further
east.
east. Okay.
It's like between Montreal and Toronto.
There it is. There we are. Okay, yeah, that got me where it was. I started at yeah. I'm not any closer.
There are more museums per capita than anything else in this city.
That's weird.
What is your city called? I'm sorry, I missed that part where this city name popped up.
Oh, my city is Ottawa.
Oh, okay. Now I've got it. Sorry, I heard Otto, and I thought, Otto, a city called Otto? My grandpa was named Otto, so
it's my local accent.
it's totally okay.
Very cool. Yeah, I was just hopeful that maybe I'd be closer to you when I move, but that's not at all true.
Where are you moving?
Moving to the Twin Cities of Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
St. Paul. Yep.
So what's the closest Canadian province to that? Is that
it's
Manitoba?
Directly north is Ontario, but Manitoba is north and slightly west.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the closest big city is Winnipeg.
Yeah. That's a big city. Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. Awesome. Everybody back. Welcome back. We're done with geography and Rich's fascination with like trying to find out if he's moved closer to cool gamers or not. Awesome. So you guys, let's talk this through. So the ship is you defeat the starfighters. They've lost their bridge, so they don't really have a captain. I would imagine AWOL Joe is just. Yeah, I think this is the thing where he would chat it out with you guys real quick, even though he's a squadron leader, because that's just kind of how he is. He says, all right, guys, we've disabled this ship. There are some pirates that are on that Gazante-class freighter. They've hit House Barnabas, so you know Barnabas gonna want to deal with that. They're close enough to where we can call the Imperials, and they'll come pick these guys up. But we're not that far from Helios. Either way, we're not going to get paid for it.
I thought we were getting paid for saving that freighter by their employer, maybe?
Oh, yeah, we're already getting paid for that. We've done that. I'm just saying, do we let these guys just stew here? What do you think? Just leave them be?
Maybe we can establish some nice relationships with House McKetty.
What do you mean?
These guys are from House McKetty. I mean, this guy at least, the one on the thingy, the one that was talking to Osprey. He sounded like a McKetty, you know.
But these people should stand for their crimes. House Baraba, I think, has been injured in this case, correct?
Well, House Barnaba isn't paying us for that strictly, right?
Well, there's a difference between nobody would pay us. The difference is honor and what is correct.
Yeah, but House Barnaba is getting cozy with the Empire. And I don't like much of the things they're saying about aliens and how power should be kept. So I'm not so wild about them. And I know them. I'm kind of related to them.
Still, Barnaba's more likely to pay us anything now that we know it's McKetty. I didn't know that. Oh, I'm glad I've got you along. Oracle. Okay. All right, let's head to Helios. These guys can't really move that ship anytime soon. Got to drag these guys back too. And you guys have effectively like tow cables because again they don't have like high speed. You know, they don't have hyperspeed engines. So,
does our ship have have? So couldn't it come and pick these guys up and take them back to Helios?
The two pilots, yes. Yes, you definitely like that. I'm sorry, you guys have tow cables to the two starfighters that you defeated that are still flight capable, and you'll drag them back to Helios, because they're perfectly great ships, and why would you not sell them? But the Gazanti class is not something you guys could tow. So it sounds like, just to kind of like a little out of character, we just check in. It sounds like Osprey wants to inform House Baraba so they can send their security force out here to drag this everybody off that Gazanti class cruiser and arrest them. It sounds like Oracle, you're not so sure about that. Like,
I'm not so sure about that, no, because last time we met some of these Baraba security guys, we weren't so very cozy with them, I seem to remember.
Right.
So basically Osprey's point of view is, well, of course we should follow the letter of the law and turn criminals in to those who control the law, but you know what will happen if we go a different direction, or the group goes a different direction. He'll just kind of shake his head and, okay.
I think I would like to talk to these guys first. What were they even doing here? Why were they attacking this ship?
Oh, nice. So let's say that you guys tow these two fighters and jump into light speed to come back near the Helios system where your flagship, the Dionysus, is. You bring them aboard, and we'll kind of jump to, like, we have the establishing shot of the Dionysus with the cool little and says Dionysus at the bottom, and then we flip into, say, some kind of conference room, and it's a little dingy here. It's not like you guys have a whole lot of conferences, but it's the best place to have they're in binders, I would imagine. And the guy with the House McKetty accent is human. And do you have a weird feeling about this? Oh, nice. I really like weird feelings in Star Wars. And the other pilot is a female feline. So the feline are a species that have green skin, and they also have some like they're cold-blooded kind of repto mammalian species. So they're also a little on the regal side. They have a lot of contacts with House McKetty. So she hasn't spoken, and when she hasn't spoken much, and when she has, she's spoken in Feline, which is a pretty weird language, and refuses to acknowledge anybody talking to her in Basic. But the male human who has the McKetty accent, he does tell you his name is Crix Alcyon, and I'll put that in the NPCs tab for you. So you are there then, Oracle. You wanted to have a couple words with this guy. What else is
sure. Hey, Bush, you maybe want to come along and provide a certain motivation for them to talk to the nice human instead of the angry Wookiee?
I like to stand around and growl when commanded.
Well, I don't want to pigeonhole you into this. I'm just saying.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
I think Osprey will come along since he sees he sees the rest of the flight crew. Is AWOL Joe following us as well?
Yeah, AWOL Joe's following, but he's not great with politics. he seems to recognize, hey, Oracle knows what the heck's going on, so I'll let her take the lead here. This really isn't his forte. He just wants to keep the ship afloat.
I think basically Osprey recognize he thinks, this is kind of a done deal. Of course, we're following the rules. And he turns to AWOL Joe and engages him in some chatter about, what they could have done differently during the fight and how things worked well and what didn't and all of that. Yeah.
Nice. He totally he just doesn't. Osprey doesn't even care about this, right? This politics stuff's not for him.
Before the conversation, I take off the conversation box off of my neck and put it in the ship. So yeah.
And since you've been under the weather, Blaze, you don't have to make crazy Wookiee noises because I don't want you to go into a coughing fit, okay? Osprey is oblivious to the political ramifications of House McKetty working against House Bernaba. I love it. So, the Feline girl and Crix, who says he's not of House McKetty, they are both sitting there. I imagine there's some kind of table. They're both seated at chairs. They have binders on them. They're in flight suits still. And AWOL says, so this guy's House McKetty. You think he's a royal? You think maybe we can, get some kind of ransom for this guy, returning him safely to the House McKetty?
Well, usually the royals of houses don't run around and ambush transports because they have to do their hair, I guess. I have no idea. What is the thing with House McKetty? I should look at the house info before I spout stuff.
No, this is all becoming true.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
House McKetty, they are very Machiavellian.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. And then I'll say, yeah, that wouldn't... Well, if he was of the royal house, he'd be in the deep shit if he had to do something like that. The McKettys are very conscious of their status.
Okay. Well, I thought it'd be an easy ransom.
Yeah, it's still maybe we can ransom them anyway because somebody put them up to this, I guess. I'll talk to them. Let me. I have a vibe about this whole thing.
Yeah, and your big sister's a hotshot lawyer, so this is great. Yeah, I'll just let you do the talking then.
Okay. Yeah. Oh God, I'm nothing like my big sister. And with these words, I stride off. I don't discuss my sister.
Nice.
Hey. You're from the McKetty systems, right?
Bounced around through there,
You sound like a McKetty. Come on.
Well, it's a strong accent. What can you do?
Well, yeah, I kind of like it. So why are you flying around and ambushing transports? Who put you up to this?
I can't reveal that. Pirate's honor and all.
I growl. I low growl.
Ooh.
This is my fellow pilot. I have a hard time pronouncing his name. He is very unhappy because his ship, the Kashyyyk, took some damage, and now he's looking for someone to take it out on. So give me something to calm him down, please.
Cool. I think you're definitely trying to intimidate these guys.
A little, maybe.
Maybe.
I have a Wookiee.
You do have a Wookiee that gives you.
Wookiee will intimidate.
Okay, cool. So I think that if Jungle Bush is trying to intimidate, I think you're using your body, right? You're just using your physical prowess to try to scare these guys into revealing some information. So you take a look at the ground pounding rule. You'll roll 2d6 plus your body. Okay. I'm going to clear the dice. That's okay. It's just getting pretty messy. All right, there we go. Did I clear what you rolled? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I had too many. So it's 2d6 plus 2.
Yep, 2d6 plus 2.
Okay, 6, 8.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, it's a partial success. Now, if you want, you could try to help Oracle. I think you could roll plus force, and if you're successful, you can give him a +1 with a 7 to 9, or a +2 with a 10 or better.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to help him with the intimidate, and I'll roll plus force. I can. My dice are gone.
Yeah, I cleared it. That was me. You can
Totally
blame
okay.
me. Hate me if you wish.
I'll keep my options open. Probably won't, but oh no, why are they? These are the wrong color. I have a 9 though.
Oh, okay. So you rolled an 8, isn't that right, for Jungle
I rolled-
Bush's intimidation? And you
rolled
rolled a
a
9
7.
for help, which gives a +1, so it pushes it to a 9. Still stays in the partial success. Oh well, that's okay.
Oh.
All right. So a partial success in this, you do it with a cost, compromise, reduced effect, or harm. So you're trying to intimidate him, and he definitely doesn't want to mess with a Wookiee. He says, listen, if I were hired, you know what? I'd be signing my own death warrant if I told you. I'd rather take the time. Just throw me in the brig.
Huh. So you were hired then. We might just, just keep you here for a while as a guest of honor. And then let you go. Or you can tell us, and we will, put you under light surveillance, so you might do a daring escape. But that's totally your choice.
Hmm.
And I think whenever he says something about, well, just put me in the brig versus, the other, Osprey kind of perks up and kind of looks over and says, well, I think actually the worst, the range is, jail time or, putting you off the airlock. That's one of the things that can be one of the consequences after the trial.
Were you trying to throw a little help in too?
Possibly,
okay.
inadvertently, yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. All right,
but just saying something. Yeah.
No, I like it. I like it. I don't know. Do I want to establish that 2 people can help? Do we want to just let it roll?
Just let it roll.
Yeah, we'll just let it roll.
Yeah.
I like that though. This is, well, let's do what you got to do. Doesn't think you're going to actually throw him out of an airlock.
Well, he would totally throw you out of an airlock. But, the justice system of House Barnaba is quite flexible. And if somebody who was, say, a member of House Barnaba would make a case that should be the punishment that might happen. And I don't know if you've heard it, if you've heard my full name, but it's Kelly Irain of House Barnaba. So, and I want to push my fame now.
Nice. All right, that's totally going to give you that's going to give you that bonus. So if you want to push your fame, give you 1 more roll, trying to use the force here to convince him to roll on House McKetty or whoever his employer was.
Yeah. So I'll roll with force, and how do I put?
You just add you'll be rolling 2d6 plus force plus your fame. You get to use that as your bonus. Nice. So you're effectively +4 here.
Okay, that's then I'm at 11.
Nice, nice, nice. So he seems tempted for a moment, but then the Feline girl says, "We were hired by the house McCary. They hire us. They back us. They give us all kinds of credit to head of you. All of them. There's a base in the asteroid field."
Interesting.
And Crix is like, "Ugh," and he mutters something at Feline. Seems like he's unhappy about her rolling on them.
Okay, so give us the coordinates, and I'm sure the judges will see that you are just the victim of circumstances.
She'll give you the coordinates, and it's the asteroid field where you guys had ran into those two weak-ass pirates last session.
But these had Barnaba accents, right? The pirate kids.
The pirate, yeah, the thugs that you went against in last session didn't seem to be affiliated with these guys at all, but perhaps there is something else going on. There's an asteroid field. Yeah, she's saying there's a base in that asteroid field that this Gazanti fighter came out of to hide. They're basically hanging out not far from Helios.
Okay. We'll make note of that. Thank you. And I totally believe them because I'm not the really thoughtful kind. But I still got that weird feeling.
Crix says, "Well, we're basically dead now. Good job, Sisha." And yeah, is there anything else you wanted to do with your two prisoners here?
Let's have a little team huddle away from them.
Okay.
So, guys, what do you think?
Think about what?
Well, the whole situation, something is very fishy here.
Well, I think that, the right thing to do is to go after this base that they mentioned. And I kind of look at AOL Joe and I say, well, and I bet there's credits for this.
There better be credits for this.
Yeah.
And as I put on my box, and then said maybe a new sponsor also.
Cool. Sorry, some emergency.
Hope they're okay. Let's make sure we get a contract on this before we go after a base. I'm probably going to send you guys to go recon that place, see what you can find out about it, how big of a threat. Any base that sends out a Gazanti-class cruiser is going to be significant.
I wonder what they're after. Is this just a power grab by the Mackedis?
No. Until we came in, they haven't been able to stop these pirates from harrying everything that's going south. It's going from Helios to the main trade route. Things were starting to dry up.
Good thing they hired the Green Dragons.
Exactly. And we're successful. By the way, Aola, that Zero-G club, they sent some messages queued up for you. They probably want another appearance.
Oh, cool.
In Jungle, Osprey, guys, should be more like Oracle. I mean, you're good fighter pilots, but what good is that if we're not getting paid? Be more like Oracle. That's what I'm saying.
I thought that we were trying to rid the sector of pirates and criminals with our exceptional piloting skills.
Which we are. For money.
Thank you.
But we're also looking to get paid. And for that, we need to be sociable.
Yeah. I think you, Jungle Bush, I think you need to have a talk with T-Hop because there were some really good shots earlier. need to make sure that he features you. I know you're a Wookiee, and they don't always do as well on combat. I'm sorry, it's just your Q rating's not that great. It's just a thing. But maybe an interview to kind of go along with it, like pilot's point of view. Think maybe you could do that?
Yeah. We could maybe try to do some more like narrative poses where I talk about how I went after it and how that's based on previous hunts that I've had on Kashyyyk, and maybe some foreshadowing or some backcasting onto like how I grew up or teachings from my people or something like that.
I don't know about that. I mean, you could try it, but it doesn't test too well because Wookiees are not that popular here. Sob stories on your histories, or I mean, I'm just saying, it's entertainment, buddy. It's not personal.
But there's some good material between, you know, us and the conflicts that we had with Trandoshans. I mean, there's really rich material there.
You should run it by Tiha and see how it tests, man. It's a great idea. He's totally blowing you off. Like, go talk to the reporter. If you can sell it, awesome. Cool. So you guys now have 2 prisoners. Unless you say otherwise, AWOL is just going to turn them over to Barnab, basically Helios security. So it's the closest. That's right. The Green Dragons are not the Navy. Sorry, it's a side chatter. I love that. So he's probably just going to turn those guys over to the authorities, unless you cut some kind of other deal.
I would like to ask somebody to go easy on them because they were cooperative and helping and stuff like that.
Maybe you should talk to your sister.
Yeah, maybe not. She doesn't like me. I don't like her. I want to do something positive for these guys.
Okay, cool. So we'll kind of skip a little time. You find out that the prosecuting attorney against both of them is none other than Kyra Arain Stalos, your oldest sister. She's flown from Groby, she's going to be. What you hear over the holonet is that she's going to prosecute them to the full extent of Barnaba law, because she has heard that these guys are House McKetty thugs.
Osprey, you would get along so well with her.
Maybe. I think. Yeah. Okay.
No, what? What do you think?
Oh, I was going to change the subject a little bit. I was going to say, I think we get the first cuts of Tiha's video, and Osprey looks fantastic as she's flying in. And in counterpoint, they've made the alien Osprey. You know, they've interviewed him, and he talks about, the skill of fighting is so much, and he talks it all up. And then they show pictures of him making a strafe of the bridge. And it, doing a little bit of damage, and then Osprey comes in and finishes it off. And they have this whole wah-wah. So Osprey kind of becomes this.
You mean Oracle,
foil?
right?
No.
Oh,
Osprey's
the foil, but
foil.
Oracle came like sweeps it. Okay,
right. So Oracle looks like the hero, and Osprey becomes like this, almost the entertainment, the clown. Associated
it's kind
with
of the Stan the Eagle of your little squad.
That's exactly right. That's the way that Tiha kind of makes it, cuts everything to make it look. Yeah.
I'm going to rip this guy's. I don't know what kind of thingies here he needs, but I'm going to rip it off, that asshole. He can't do that to one of my teammates.
You see, combat, and it's like pushing you, Osprey, like crazy. In fact, I'll give you a fame point for it. It's pushing Oracle. Sorry, I get my O's mixed. Oracle, you're getting pushed hard. Like the Tiha is definitely pushing. So I'd like to see if our Wookiee can pull off his, like, from the planet of Kashyyyk and our conflict with the Trandoshan, see if that ends up on the cutting room floor. So let's have you roll plus. It's your mind, because it's the wit and the intellect of the character. Your storytelling. You're talking about your people. And so you get to roll 2d6 plus mind, which for you,
is -2.
Yes, it is. All right.
Can I help in this case?
Sure.
I think the way that this looks is they already have one foil. Why would they need a second?
That makes
That's
total
fair.
sense.
That's fair. Let's see if the language barrier and the translation box can actually get those ideas like on paper so it makes sense to a non-Kashitian entity. That was a 4 and a 5 is a 9. It's 7.
A 7. Is that a pass?
It's not bad.
It's not a fail. And I guess, I mean, if you want to get yourself involved, Osprey, you can, but you can't push it up to a full success.
No.
With that one.
But I think we can say that they don't make him into a foil. There might be some confusion, but they're not going to make him into a joke.
It could actually just boil down to like one line. It's like less is more in this sense, where they show a shot of like me buckshotting the engine with my ship, or the first shot of actually flying in between it, and said, as the Wookiee goes for his prey, or as the Wookiee goes for his Trandoshan enemy, it is attracted by the blood or the heart of the blood, or something like that. Something like barbaric, but like crude in nature. And then just enough to make it sound like, yeah, that Wookiee is cool because he's barbaric.
Nice. I love it. It's a mixed success. That's what comes off. It's like he's crude and barbaric, but we love it. There's like some a little bit of people who are like, oh, can you like maybe you could like shave a design in the side of your pelt for our corporation, like the sponsorship stuff you're getting is. And then we cut to the holonet display of combat, and there's a Trandoshan named Lisk, who is a member of the Blue Spiders squadron. So he's a member of the guild as well. He's a member of the Blue Spiders. And he sees this, like, talking about you and the Trandoshans, all this. And it just pisses him off. Like who is this Wookiee? Must destroy this Wookiee. So we have Lisk, and I'll stick him in the NPCs, but he's a member of the Blue Spiders who now he hates you. He says a definite on, like it is on. He is your heel. You are you're the face, and he's gonna try to take you down.
Do we get an agent to agent call on this to like make sure that the branding and the marketing hits like?
Yes, we should. That's reaction
shots.
Is it sort of like the interview that you get with wrestlers?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, cool. So I'm gonna take it. We've got Trandoshan. Oh, man, my caps lock is all messed up. He's from the Blue Spiders. Sworn a blood oath to defeat Jungle Bush for his hurtful characterization. This is what the PR company says.
Yeah, because in the end, it's all stereotypes, because that's the only thing that like major human audiences can understand.
Yep. It's all voiceover work where they cut in parts of your interview, but then it's like all PBS, like it's like NPR. I don't know. I'm sorry if you guys, but like it's a thing where it's a whole lot of voiceover explaining what you just said. Like you're saying the thing, but there's a host who says what you're saying, but more succinct and punchy. Oh man, yes, it's definitely this is great. I think I have missed my calling. This is what this game should have been all along. I'm joking. Cool. Good. So you have a few things to deal with. So first of all, we now have Lisk the Trandoshan, who has a major hate on for Jungle Bush. We have these two House Maketi agents who are on Helios awaiting trial. We know that the prosecuting attorney is none other than the older sister of Oracle. And of course, you guys are trying to secure that contract, which you're likely going to get, to head out for this asteroid field base that evidently House McKetty has set up to harry any mercantile transport that's headed towards the major trading route that is just outside of House Barnaba territory. So let's kind of loosen up a little bit for our last 20, 30 minutes of game and see what do you guys want to deal with? What are the scenes that you would like to have?
I wanted to have a talk with Awol about him tripping on my heels.
Nice. Okay, cool. So go see AWOL in the captain's quarters, or do you catch him in the mess hall? Where do you go talk to him?
I think I would like to talk to him in the hangar where our spaceship are, where I'm trying to direct the mechanic repairing Pepper. And when he shows up, I will go up to him and I ask him, hey, Joe.
Yeah, he's got a little flask. He's got some like intoxicant in it. And he comes out and he's just doing the kind of cruise around the hangar. And you call out to him and he looks, oh, hey, Oracle. Hey.
Yeah, hey, what was that bullshit you pulled? Like hanging on my tails and going for my kills?
Hey, girl, if you can't clean your plate, somebody's gotta.
Yeah, right. Just
puts his arm around you. He says, oh, come on. It was just one kill. It's the law of the skies, girl.
Joe, don't do that unless you want an elbow in your ribcage, okay?
All right, kid. Hey, you want the kill? You want the kill? I'll turn the kill over to you. You're doing good, Oracle. You got it. You got your own sponsorship, which is better than the other two in your little flight.
Yeah, they're cool. You should protect them more. Like the thing they did with Osprey on the interview, that was just. Can I just shoot off Tiha, maybe? Just a little?
Well, he was pushing you hard, girl.
I don't want to be pushed at the expense of my crewmates. That's not okay.
Listen, Osprey has no sponsorships. He's a great pilot, but he doesn't understand how this works.
Yeah, apparently you don't understand how this works. We're a team. Don't play us off against each other.
Listen, I authorized it, but I didn't cut it that way. They're going with what's going to make us the most money.
Yeah, but you could authorize it. Man, this is so broken. This is just the same bullshit I was getting from my family. And I take the flask out of his hand and I take a healthy sip.
Nice.
Healthy check.
Speaking of your family, I heard your big sis is going to be the one to take those McKetty goons down.
Yeah, what a surprise. Always on the side of those who want riches, fame, and keep the little man down.
I want riches and fame. Am I on your big sister's side?
I have no idea on whose side you are. Right now you're on the side of the man, so don't give it to me.
Ouch. Hey. I'm just trying to look out for the squad. And you got a real future, Oracle.
I don't know. I don't know if I want this kind of future. I want a future where people don't get pissed on because they're not, let's just face it, because they're not human. That's just bullshit. I hate that.
All right. I think that comes to a roll. You're trying to tell AOL Joe a little bit about how the world works. So let's see if you can make a force roll, because you're inspirational with your force there. You've already used your fame for the session. This will be 2d6 plus force.
Yeah, I rolled an 8. I've got a lot of force, so a 10.
A 10. Well, poodoo, when you put it that way. Keep the flask. He kind of wanders off. And the next thing that you guys see is the Holonet broadcast where AWOL Joe is lauding the accomplishments of Osprey and Jungle Bush in their recent forays, taking down the pirates that are attacking House Barnaba, and he kind of goes out of his way to highlight specific moments of how they took out and it's like he swallows a little bit of his kills and he starts pushing both of you guys up a little bit. So I will give 1 fame point to each of you guys because your squadron leader is speaking up for Osprey and Jungle Bush. So you guys can go ahead and mark that. And now combat is going to start watching you guys even more closely because you're becoming more famous.
So this is sort of like the behind the scenes of a reality TV show where, the expert comes on and the boss comes on and says, well, this is what you saw in the show, but this is what you really saw. And here's the teamwork involved in all of this. And yeah. That's great.
And they cut in like other footage of the Wraith like sliding in on a thing, and then we show the Jungle Bush's like kick turn maneuver, or not it's kick turn, but oh shoot, I can't remember the maneuver you almost pulled off, but it's cut to make it look like you pulled it off, and then the heat-seeking missiles taking out the engines and how that Gazanti class is dead, and we show a bunch of Barnaba like. Some of their fighters are coming up and apprehending this gigantic cruiser, and you can see the scale. So it's like, oh, these guys took out this gigantic thing. And yeah, so that's how the reaction of Oracle's talking to on AWOL Joe. She made him feel bad, and so he went and burned a little bit of his fame capital to try to right things in the world because you guys are up and comers in the Green Dragons. Jungle. Oh, nice. Jungle Bush. I'm curious, what's going on with you? Do you have a scene you're interested in?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I want to be minding my own business in a bar, having a meal, and being accosted by a bunch of Trandoshans.
Oh god, that sounds great. Okay, do you guys mind if we just jump in and we reuse a set and we set this at Aola, the 0G bar? You guys had to come down for another public appearance because you're so close.
Yeah.
Can I be there as well?
Yes, please. Like all of you guys are there.
We're just having dinner. We're having a quiet dinner. It's the first time we have a break in a while, and we get accosted by
Oh, sweet. So it's got to be like. It's like a clutch of some Trandoshans who are all related to Lisk. Right? It's not Lisk. So this is like the preamble to a Lisk confrontation.
Yes, that's it.
Sweet. And so like a couple of them, they're like teenagers. You would know, like just by the facial, the growth and everything. They don't know. They're just like big honking Trandoshans. And then there's an older Trandoshan. So the 3 of you guys are all eating, maybe cutting up, maybe who else is there? You think it's just the 3 of you guys, like a private thing? Do you think Heidi's shown up and is trying to glom onto your fame there, Oracle? Or is it just the squad here? Oh, sorry. Sabine, do you think that your character's younger sister is here while you guys are having...
Oh, hopefully not.
Okay, so she is. All right, so she's there, because the hopefully not means that you secretly hope she's there. Cool. So they're there, and these 4 Trandoshans come walking in, and they have the chick. Oh,
I think actually they've set up kind of a. It's not really a ambush, but they set up something so that Osprey kind of stands up, and suddenly there's a cluster of younger of like fans around Osprey.
Yeah,
and they're having him sign. Here, sign my vid of this, and I want your autograph. But it's sort of like ironic, right? They're like, here, sign Oracle's vid of how good she is, or something like that. But Osprey has no idea, and this distracts him from whenever the Trandoshans come up to confront Jungle. Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think the first thing that happens is one of the teenage Trandoshans comes up and says, "Oh, what's the meal that Jungle Bush is eating?" When they come
something vegetarian and spicy.
Oh, that's perfect. I was really hoping you'd say that. And he says, "Look at the fur ball eating vegetables because it can't handle meat."
I just stand up really, really tall,
Mm-hmm.
and
You're taller than this Trandoshan king.
and I growl. I like roar at him. Like
What does the vocoder say?
the vocoder says, "Anger, anger."
Oh, sweet. So yeah, you're trying to, I mean, I guess intimidate these guys. Let's see you
Yeah.
roll 2d6 plus body. Let's just do some
I'm-
ground pounder. See if you can scare them off. You will need a very, very high roll for all of them to not mess with you.
I figure.
A critical success, and there will not be a fight here.
Okay, I just want to know what the dice is. 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I already have. Okay.
All right. Roll a 7.
And it's plus body?
It is.
That's a 9.
Okay.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
I will spend one of my reserve points.
To push it to a 10?
I will push it to a 10.
Sweet. Okay, so you get up, you start screaming, and then the vocoder is like anger, 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 anger. And the teenager who got in your face, he's shorter than you. He takes like a step back. Like, I did not realize this was going to escalate quite this quickly. I thought we would just talk some trash, and because we're outnumbering, he would cow. So he's like about to freak, but then the older Trandoshan shoves him forward, like into you. and then after that, there will be punches thrown, right?
Okay, so before there are punches thrown, I look at my teammates. I kind of like, I know this is kind of weird, but I make sure that, I'm not just throwing my punches around. I'm mindful of my environment. I look at my teammates to like, are we cool?
I think that you turn around and Osprey's been surrounded by these younger humans, and maybe one Trandoshan is over there kind of pushing them along. And I'm sighting stuff, and I look up, and you see that one of the humans is whipped around with a camera, and is recording this altercation.
Yeah. These Trandoshans are not going to look good at all.
So this is going on the vids right away, so it has to look good.
I'm looking for Oracle's facial reaction to give me guidance.
Well, Oracle is just right now, she is talking to Heidi, and she is looking at you like, can I please help, or is this more a personal thing?
Then I'm like, okay. I think I'm like, I look and I make like I make a facial like almost a half smile type of thing. And I'm like trying to say I got this. And so I turn back to the Trandoshan and I wait for him to punch.
Ooh, nice. So you make sure that it's very focused, that you did not instigate. That is pretty cool. So the one that you cowed, he's not going to throw like, he almost starts an apology, but then the older one reaches over and flips your food, and then he's going to punch you.
Okay. I let him punch me.
Sweet. So he does, and you take 2 hit points worth of damage.
Perfect.
Because it's a pretty big punch there.
Okay.
You should be everybody should be at max. Why were you at 14? When did you take damage last session? I don't remember it.
That may have been a factor that as you change things, the max doesn't adjust or something. Yeah.
That's it. That's probably it. So you're at 16 hit points.
Okay.
As he punches you right across the jaw, and you feel like it's a little 3-fingered massive fist connect there. Knocks you back a foot or 2, but I don't think you fall. Right? It's not enough to knock you actually down. And then he's going to advance on you, but he doesn't have a weapon on. Looks like he's just going to try to throttle and claw you.
Okay.
Let me show you how to handle a Wookiee.
So I'm going to pick him up and throw him.
Give me a body roll.
I really hope this works.
Me too.
Let's see.
There's a 3 and 4 already out there, so you rolled a 4
Yeah,
and
so
5,
4
9.
and 5. So that's a 9 plus 2 is an 11.
And 11. That is pretty awesome. So based on our ground pounding rules, it's a full success. You do it without complications. Now, you are in a fight, which means you're going to swap some damage. So go ahead and roll a d6 for the amount of hit points that he does to you. And you pick him up and throw him. So I imagine he like claws your arm as you're grabbing him up.
Yeah. I want to throw him at his pack of people.
That sounds amazing.
Oops, that's not right. And so he does 2 damage to me.
Okay, so he claws your forearm. The claws dig in. A little bit of blood trickles down to your elbow, and they throw him into the one team who's like already cowering away, knowing that he's about to get mashed, and the other 2 they get knocked to the ground. I'm curious though, Oracle, what are you doing as you see this fight just bust out? People are all watching because this is the dinner area. No one expected a fight.
I will tell Heidi that she should really go to the bathroom to be safe there because this is really dangerous. But I won't move to intervene because he clearly doesn't want that, and he seems to be fine. I mean, he's bleeding. Okay, he's bleeding, but he is a tough guy, and I think this is kind of his way of letting off steam. So
nice. I think a lot of the fans of Oracle are all. Maybe Jungle Bush is the best pilot. What about Osprey?
So Osprey has been there, and there's this, there's a whole bunch of like smaller teenage or younger kind of fans surrounding him, and he sees this altercation start, and he sees that punch, and at the precise moment that punch happens, he then stands up to his full height and kind of spreads them apart and walks through them, and they part sort of like water. He takes 2 or 3 large strides where this is coming from, and he sees, all of a sudden this Trandoshan goes flying, he just gets thrown, and Osprey immediately veers and steps in front of Heidi between her and the altercation to make sure this is to make sure she doesn't get hurt.
Oh, that's
right?
Awesome. Okay. Sweet. Cool. So you step in the way, protect Heidi, and she puts her hand up on your shoulder, and she's trying to watch around your shoulder, but now she's not going to run to the bathroom because she has protection. And the Trandoshans are all scrambling to try to get up, threatening and hissing and the like. And that's when a squad of stormtroopers enter the dining area. With blaster carbines, like whoever checked weapons said, "Oh, stormtroopers, sure, you can come in," or something like that. And they start moving in, and the one that you cowed earlier, sees this and like slaps his friends and hisses something in Trandoshan, kind of like "It's the fuzz," but in Trandoshan. And they stop and they turn, and all of a sudden that seems to end the fight on their side. Do you want to take a little cheap shot at them, or
no, that would be so Trandoshan like of me.
I know, right? So then you guys recognize, or you would recognize the bars rather than the person, but an Imperial lieutenant, she comes in, and she comes out from behind the stormtroopers and says, "Guild pilots, are you in any danger?"
I sit back down to my meal, said, "Nope, not anymore."
And the Trandoshans start kind of backing up, and she continues walking forward. And she sees that she has in her hand like what looks like a strap of some kind. And walking behind her is a Twi'lek male, green skin, very handsome, wearing basically underoos. And she walks over to the table, and it seems my Jungle Bush, Yes, I believe that someone has knocked off your dinner. I will make sure it's replaced. You're Oracle, are you not?
Yeah, I am.
And I've seen you many times, Osprey.
And I think we see Heidi's hand with a camera kind of reaching out, trying to record everything. Yeah.
Oh. I hope that no one else bothers you while you enjoy yourselves this evening.
And I'm barely intelligent enough to say, well, you are. Not to say that. Well, not to say that. I will keep my mouth shut. Yeah, for now. But she might get a feeling that I'm not a fan of hers.
I am Lieutenant Mila Paraji. I am working directly for the governor. The Tapani Sector that is adjacent to Helios. I want to personally thank all three of you for the efforts, because a heavy flow of goods from House Barnaba to the Tapani Sector benefits all of us. You've done a very good job, all three of you, helping to keep the peace. Then she stands back up. She gestures for waitstaff to come over. Please replace this fine Wookiee's meal to whatever he was having. I have it on my bill. And she'll turn and walk crisply away. The Twi'lek meekly turns his head and walks after.
And I will say these words. I have a bad feeling about this.
And Heidi says, that Twi'lek is so hot.
You are such a child.
Not a child. I'm totally not a child.
I don't think he was there in that posture voluntarily.
Okay, well, what was he there for?
I actually let out a seriously.
I wonder what she wanted.
I don't know, but Big Sis is in town. She knows you're here.
Yay. You haven't told her that I'm here, right?
She knows you're here. You're like, they're your sponsor. She knows you're here.
Damn it.
Osprey leans forward and says, maybe we can get some help from the Imperials if we need it whenever we go after the asteroid base.
I don't want help from these guys. They make my skin crawl, and they're not good people.
I'm really curious how Jungle Bush thinks about that, seeing as how they've subjugated your people in the free world.
He has a kind of divided view on this. I'm very individualistic in nature. I don't have like a tribe of people or anything. It's the reason why I'm here is because I'm not there. They're awful, but like I look around the restaurant and there's so many colonizers in the room that they all just become the same after a while. So that instinct of thinking that this one is larger evil than everything else isn't as strong. And so I'd rather use them to fight another front. So it's like, it's like I see individually, I see the Empire as much as an evil as the Trandoshans, as much as anything else.
Cool. All right. So after the Imperial lieutenant leaves, I think that unless you guys have quick scenes you wanted to do, that might be a good time to bring our session to a close. Any scenes anybody needed?
The only thing I have is I want to see this video. Basically, I think that the video from this altercation gets uploaded.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, it was being like live streamed. It's totally
So I
going
think
out there.
Yeah, so I think one of the, younger fans was kind of videoing Osprey and he isn't as funny and he was, signing stuff. And then all of a sudden it turns around and you see this, growling Wookiee and then this cowering Trandoshan and then this ineffective punch. And then, the Wookiee throws the Trandoshan and I think they clip off where the, Imperials come in.
Yeah, you do not want that on film. You could get DMCA'd to the death. They'll hit you for that.
Yeah.
And I think here's the deal. I will offer you this, Jungle Bush. I will give you 1 fame point, but only if the throw of your Trandoshan becomes a meme of like where it's just like the throw and there's some kind of music background thing that it becomes like a famous thing where people are trying to throw their friends. But
yes,
okay.
I will take that fame point.
All right, awesome. So yeah, you get a fame point known as the thrower. So Jungle Bush, the tosser, or Jungle Bush, the thrower. The Jungle Bush throw becomes a meme here on Helios, and people start doing unsafe things, trying to pretend
It's
to
not
throw.
it's the bush toss.
The bush toss. Oh my god! Yes.
And I think the first auto tune of this, the first, audio overlay shows missiles from his ship kind of going off. They've overlaid that a little bit, and you hear this missile taking off and then crashing as he throws the Trandoshan.
Nice. I love it. Cool. So the last thing that we see for this session is kind of like an epilogue type deal that I want to do to be a little bit selfish. Is the 3 of you guys, you're in your ships, like it's more of a long shot from Tiha, and you're just weaving in through the remnants of the asteroid field, heading towards the deeper parts where the location you've been given. And Tiha's camera's gonna zoom across, and you see coming around one of the large asteroids is the starfighter, and it's pristine. And Oracle, you recognize it. It's the Blackbird. So that'll be the end of our session. Cool. So I give you guys a little bit of XP, and also you get 1. Let's see. At the end of every session, I can give you guys a stat point. So I'm going to give you 2 because I didn't last time. And so the way stat points work is it's like XP to improve any of your base stats, body, mind, and force. And I will give you guys each as well just regular experience points. I was really happy with this session, so I'm giving you 5 XP. And improving skills, so if you want to improve any of your piloting skills, you can take a look at the improving skills under D. It's double its new level in XP. So hopefully somebody can raise 1 or 2 of those stats for that. Okay? If you have any questions in between sessions, feel free to ask.
I had a mechanical question.
Yes.
Real quick. So we used reserve a lot in this game.
Right. How do you get reserve back? Is that?
Yeah.
Great question. So recovering reserve is in here, and we'll just set up for that because I think it's role playing related, but I want to make sure. So I will have an answer on reserve.
No problem. I did a search under the rules tab that you saw, and it looked like whenever you spend reserve, you get an XP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's under the XP earned during play. I did a search for reserve, and that popped up.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Awesome. So you guys should be marking XP for that. Everybody started with 4. So look at your current level, 4 minus your current level, and add that as XP.
Yeah.
I totally missed that rule. and there are a lot of rules. So I hope I haven't
What
missed others.
what do we do with these stat points you gave us?
So improving stats takes a while, but earning enough stat points makes it possible for PCs to increase their stats. Your stats are the force, body, and mind. So it's impossible. Increasing a stat costs 10 stat points. So I'll stick a thing in by the experience points called stat points. But I guess in our small play we won't be. Cool. That is way too much. I'm going to say it's 5 because I don't know why they make it impossible. Basically, the way this is written is you can get 1 stat point per session, but raising stat costs 10 stat points. That's like saying you have to play 10 sessions to be able to raise a stat. That's dumb. We're only using this in a PBTA mode, so stat points are worth 5 per. This just doesn't.
But that doesn't make a difference, really, does it? Because we're only playing 4 sections.
Okay, you're right. But it made me feel like I made a command decision that was smart, but you're right, Sabine. It doesn't matter anyway. It's like, good job, Rich. You went from can't get it to can't get it.
So I just saw something else. I'm
Oh,
sorry
cool.
to
No.
swap back. Underneath the spend reserve under XP earned during play, there's a accept critical failure. And I see that's how you get reserve back. So it looks like if you roll a 1.
Oh, right. There's a whole thing of like you can get yourself some reserve by saying, "Hey, I want
a
go
critical
ahead and hose me."
failure.
Yeah, go ahead and hose me.
Yeah.
I never even introduced that as a thing.
Yeah, it just popped up in my search, so I was
Thank
like,
you.
"Oh, that's interesting." Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to give that a think because it's not the only way, but that is one of the ways you can do it.
And it might be something that we don't want to deal with since we are so rules heavy at this point.
Yeah, it might be. Okay, good stuff though. I really appreciate it. You guys have been so super helpful in trying to make this thing as playable as possible. It's been a bit of a kludge. I feel like we like stumble into some really fun parts, but there's just so much in the way. Let's do for our remaining time, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to do our feedback process of roses and thorns. We'll start with thorns. Again, I think of gaming as a craft, not just as much as an art. It's a craft. So any feedback that you provide me helps me to get better. So who would like to lead off with thorns?
I start leading off because I really not very enchanted with the system. I'm sorry. Because, and I think I figured it out, because if you roll too low, then nothing happens. And since I've been playing PBTA, I kind of like the way that whatever you roll, something happens. Something goes down. And here, if you fail the roll, then nothing happens. Or if you roll too low for the armor to be pierced, then nothing happens. And it's 2 rolls that you're doing, and for nothing happening. And I've been playing actually Worldwide Wrestling, which is not exactly my jam because I know too little about wrestling, and I was playing with wrestling fans. So, but I thought about this game a lot when we played that, and I thought, hey, that could be hacked for a dogfight. The wrestling rules could be hacked for a dogfight.
I think that is a really cool idea.
I mean, I like the setting and the whole dogfight thing, but the mechanics are way too traditional for my taste. So, well, that's not your fault, of course, because you just.
It's my fault because I picked it and pitched it.
No, but you picked it because it was a cool setting, and that instinct was right.
Cool.
And you took out a lot of the rules, which I really appreciate, for the ground pounding thing.
Yeah. I just wish I could have figured a way to streamline some of the the multiple rolls to like, oh, okay, I'm going to roll to hit, I'm going to roll initiative, I'm going to roll to hit, I'm going to roll damage. Like, there's a way to streamline all of that, and I just never found a satisfying way without designing a whole new system. And I won a thorn myself for like I pre-calculated some stuff and then forgot that it was pre-calculated, and so it was just like I took everybody back to square one, and that really added some confusion. I also am pretty sure that I screwed up by telling you guys to roll strafing to make a gunnery attack. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to have been your gunnery attack. Strafing and dogfighting are for effectively the initiative and for any stunt that you do, and then gunnery is to shoot guns, and ordnance is to shoot your heavy ordnance.
I really appreciated that you had this confusion, because I think we would have hit a lot less well. And it was fun to hit this well and to make this kind of impact.
It was faster. It was definitely sped up combat for you guys to be able to roll with a +6. You mowed over those pirates, and I was like, this is going to be a tough fight. And that screwed up the strafing roll. So this is self-thorn. One more session, guys. One more session. So Blaze or Steven, who'd like to go next?
I actually have a question about that.
Yeah.
So does that mean that for dogfighting, we roll dogfighting for initiative and we roll gunnery for shooting?
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm all on the same page. I just wanted to make sure I understood. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
But I think I totally ran it wrong during several moments today.
Yeah. I got it. So I guess my thorn is, so I played, traditional games for many years, and I found that with the rules, and you roll this, you roll initiative, you roll to hit, you roll for damage, and all of that, and then the reserve, I found that I got lost in the rules a little bit, meaning that I started digging through and saying, okay, let me go look, because you've got all these nice rules printed out in the spreadsheet, under ground pounding fame, and you have all the different tabs with stuff, and I would start rereading stuff, and I think that took me out of the game, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have tried to just roll with it and not go back and try and reread the rules and see where I could move stuff. Yeah.
And I think I felt bad because I realized at certain points I was ruining your confidence, and just because I kept like stammering over myself and getting confused in points, and I felt like I put you guys in a situation where you're like, okay, let me go double check this rule because we are having some stutter steps in what's going on, and I feel bad about that.
I do want to point out though that in that last fight, we were all damaged to the point where the next set of damage that we got would have to start. We'd take negatives, and those negatives all of a sudden start hurting really, really bad. I think what saved us in that last fight, that big fight, was spending all the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it was like, oh, now we know what reserve is for, and we spent it, and it did great things for us. I think it would have been really tough. I think it would have been a tough fight if we hadn't been doing that. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Stephen. Blaze, what thorns did you have?
I think it's been mostly covered by everyone else. Yeah, it's I have this this attraction to very crunchy games, but then I get to play them and I realize that I'm not a detail-oriented person, and so I lose track of everything that's once I'm there. And so it's kind of the same thing here, where it's like, oh my god, this is so cool, we get to roll all these things, but then in the thing itself, I don't know what I'm actually rolling half the time, and it's too bad. I guess it's a limitation of the system, but again, the fact that you packaged it all within our character keepers is like, well, I'll put that in a rose for later. Yeah.
Well, you get to go first in roses, so
okay.
Go for it.
So roses, your character keeper made sense. Although, like you said, you think that you'd stammered, and then you caused us to think about our own trust or thing in the system. I kind of agree with, but at the same time, it's like there's so much stuff to try to keep track of that like it's not your fault at all. I also think that like we're getting that point where we've played enough time with each other to like feel confidence between each other, so that's like that kind of circle of trust is being properly built in a sense. And so it's now getting really exciting. So it's like session 2 is really cool because it's like we've mixed, and now session 3 is where it's like I can't wait for next week because it's going to be the best thing ever. And I think like everybody's participation, Steve, I love your scene making when you bring in these things, when you're like, oh well, think about this thing, and it's like, and it's so very textual to everything. Sabine, you bring everything to like a very personal level. So the fact that you've brought in your sister and you have a very deep understanding of like your place in the universe in this game, which is really cool. And Rich, like again, it's like it's Star Wars. You've mastered this universe. It's just like coming home every Saturday. So yeah, that's for me.
Sweet, thank you, Blaze. Stephen, what roses did you want to hand out?
Along very similar lines, I look at the character keeper and I'm like, I realized, I think as Blaze was talking, I was like, the character keeper simplified everything for me. But when I look at it now, I think it's simplified it almost to PBTA kind of standards. I mean, it's set up right now where you look at the dogfighting rules and it literally says, you roll 1d6 and add this number. And I'm like, all of that extra math that was done was all put into the spreadsheet and simplified down. So it's a lot easier to handle. It's very much, you make one roll and it's done. There's some added things about, well, do we add in accuracy or do we use the dogfighting versus strafing rules and all that kind of stuff? But I think where the complications from the rules bleeds through, but I think it's still, the character keeper really distilled it down to something that people like me who don't play a lot of these crunchy games at the moment, it made it a lot easier. So yeah,
good. Glad to hear that.
Oh, and I also want to say I really loved all the touch point moments throughout the game. Those were really fun. Where it was, we had this scene, these dramatic scenes like the scene in the hangar with AWOL Joe and the scene in the restaurant. Those were all lots of fun, lots of characterization, lots of story coming out. Yeah.
Good. I completely agree with you that I was so happy for that hangar scene and for the Trandoshan thugs showing up and Osprey's like signing autographs and the way you made him say him the eagle just tickles me so much. Sabine, what roses did you want to hand down?
Well, yeah, like everybody else, that character keeper was a lifesaver because every rule stuff was written on there and it was very well, I had no difficulty in finding what I needed, but I am actually rather okay-ish with handling rules and math and stuff like that, but it boiled everything down pretty nicely. So you put a lot of work into that and I love it. And also you put a lot of work into translating this Warbirds setting into a Star Warbirds setting and making it a Star Wars thing. That was a pretty big rose. And I would also like to hand out roses to the Wookiee. I hope he won't eat it. But it's his rose now, so go ahead. No, that was really amazing, the way he was at that interview and stuff like that. And another rose to Osprey for being such a law-abiding, straight-up guy. And I can't wait to see what this will go to because I have a bad feeling about this whole thing. Yeah, and I'm really excited about next week, and I hope that I won't have any technical difficulties because I won't be at home. So.
Oh, I'm so scared now. No.
Yeah, but I hope I can play at my friends. But if I can't, I have to go to the hotel, and I know that playing at the hotel works. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I hope it works out. I definitely want you aboard for the third of 3 sessions, which will be next week. Roses to all of you for being so giving and setting each other up for cool moments and having each other's backs and playing super interesting characters and being very open to trying this weird kludge of a system and making the best out of it. Your ideas for like bringing in some of the, oh, let's do this thing, and the scene framing you guys have has been delightful. I've quite enjoyed this. The little non-dogfighting moments are pretty amazing. It's almost to the point where I wanted, instead of like, maybe I should just take Hearts of Wulin and just do so that it's like one die roll for your dogfighting, like one die roll. Because all I really care about is like you guys is pilots doing crazy pilot stuff and getting drunk and starting fights, and that's been so fun. So thank you guys so much. We are already over time, so I will let you go, and we will see you next week as we bring this thing to a close. Thank you.